Live episode of Free Talk Live. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Nick Harper with the Week in Review. This week, the US government set a new record, the longest ever recorded in US history. On Friday, thousands of US domestic flights were cancelled or delayed. The White House ordered a reduction of air traffic. Trump administration officials said the move was an attempt to relieve some of the pressure on air traffic controllers. FSN's Iris Spitzer sent this report from Washington.
Air travelers in the U.S. are bracing for more disruptions from the government shutdown as Trump administration officials say they're planning to cut flights by as much as 10% on domestic routes. Meanwhile, there are reports that the Republican-controlled Senate is preparing for another vote on a stopgap spending measure on Friday, although a meeting by a group of Democratic senators on Thursday didn't yield any obvious change in position. The opposition party has demanded that Republicans extend health care subsidies that are set to expire, which GOP lawmakers have so far refused to do. At 37 days, the current shutdown is already the longest in U.S. history.
This week, the US Supreme Court appeared skeptical of President Donald Trump's power to unilaterally impose tariffs during a 3-hour hearing. The hearing at the country's highest court came after the president used a law designed for national emergencies to justify his sweeping economic agenda. New York City elected a new mayor this week, 34-year-old left-leaning Democrat Zohran Mamdani. He'll be the city's first Muslim mayor and the youngest in a century. Mamdani beat the Republican candidate, Curtis Sliwa, and the former governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo.
The sun may have set over our city this evening, but as Eugene Debs once said, I can see the dawn of a better day for humanity.
The world's richest man, Elon Musk, was this week awarded a pay packet that could be worth nearly $1 trillion. Shareholders at Tesla approved the record deal for the firm's founder, but it's conditional on Elon Musk hitting ambitious targets. City AM's editor Christian May says they won't be easy to reach.
He has to take the value of Tesla from $1.5 trillion today to $8.5 trillion in value by 2035. And he must sell tens of millions of vehicles and deploy 1 million robo-taxis and all sorts of new metrics.
Former US President Dick Cheney died this week at the age of 84. He was widely seen as the architect of George W. Bush's war on terror following the 9/11 attacks in 2001. Israeli aircraft bombed several towns in southern Lebanon on Thursday as Israel threatened wider strikes unless Hezbollah is disarmed. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN. Russia's President Vladimir Putin summoned members of the country's Security Council this week to discuss options of possibly resuming nuclear weapons tests. It would be the first such move by Moscow since the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. It comes after US President Donald Trump suggested that the US would restart its own atomic tests. Ever since Daria Bundarchuk sent this report from Moscow.
Vladimir Putin gathered top officials for a Security Council meeting, instructing them to draft proposals on restarting nuclear weapons tests, a practice Russia has abandoned since 1991. The Kremlin spokesman later clarified that no deadline had been set and that Russia will act only after fully understanding U.S. intentions. Putin's directive comes days after U.S. President Donald Trump's announcement that the U.S. would resume its nuclear testing program. Russia has recently conducted tests of nuclear-capable delivery systems, including the Burevestnik cruise missile and the nuclear-powered Poseidon super torpedo. Daria Bondarchuk, Moscow.
The Chinese fast fashion giant Shein says it will collaborate with a French inquiry into the selling of childlike sex dolls on its website. The controversy came just a day before Shein this week opened its new flagship store in Paris, from where FSN's Ross Cullen sent this report.
The Asian e-commerce giant pledged on Tuesday to cooperate fully with judicial authorities after French prosecutors opened an investigation over the sale of childlike sex dolls on the platform and also rival online retailers AliExpress, Temu and Wish. The investigation is for distributing, quote, messages that are violent, pornographic and accessible to minors. Shine's spokesman in France said the company was prepared to share the names of those who have bought the product, adding that the purchase of the childlike dolls was serious, unacceptable and intolerable. And there have already been demonstrations against Shine outside the location in the centre of the French capital.
And that's the Week in Review. That's Feature Story News. Nick Harper reporting.
This is the Onion Week in Review. According to sources, all 6.5 million residents of Indiana spontaneously formed thousands of perfectly uniform rows throughout the state Monday morning and established a collective consciousness. Saying, "We are Indiana," the new hive mind talked and moved in unison, with citizens working together to build a massive geometric superstructure in downtown Indianapolis where they would gather to sleep, breed, and feed. All corns for Indiana. All corns for Indiana. The collective state went on to report that soon Ohio, Illinois, Michigan, Kentucky, and Canada would all become Indiana. Persons close to Phoenix area friends Jake Welter and Mike Seflin confirmed Friday that the two men are absolutely incapable of greeting each other like normal human beings. Beep, 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 beep. Sources say the two full-grown men simply cannot walk into a room and shake each other's hands, relying instead on elaborate dances, forced pop culture references, and extended fake fighting. Neither Welter nor Seflin was available for comment as they were busy pretending to rip each other's faces off.
Our Matrix server is about as free as internet chat can be. Join the existing rooms or create your own at chat.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. It's talk radio you control. You can give us a call here. The phone number is 603-283-6160. In the studio tonight, it's Stu,
Kahuna,
and Richie Rich.
Let's see. Caning is back.
Hell yeah. I'm excited about this.
About time.
Yeah, this is one of the things from my childhood that I fondly remember. This
is the feel-good story of the week.
Caning story.
Yes. And like, don't give me that, oh, it's violent or whatever. When you find out who's getting caned, take a guess. Anybody? I know I told you to, but
right. I don't want to spoil it.
You don't want to spoil it?
No.
Online scammers to be beaten with canes in major crackdown in Singapore, and this is from the article, but the brutal vid shows it's not just a light slap from the U.S. Sun, so reputable news source there. So yeah, the headline, the headline's the lead, right? Mm-hmm. Online scammers getting caned. They're bringing back the Singapore cane.
Has anybody been caned yet?
I don't know. We got to get into it.
Oh, okay.
I think they're planning it, but like anytime you get those scam calls, during the day, everyone's phone blows up. I don't know about you guys. I have my phone whitelisted, so I get far fewer than most people I know. Mm-hmm. But it's annoying.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I get several a day myself.
Yeah, and they're running out of the gimmick is they run out of call center. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, some of them are slaves, like working in the call centers in like India, Myanmar, I guess Singapore, right? So they're compelled to do it or coerced to do it or however you want to phrase that.
I get a lot of email scams. I don't get so many phone call scams.
Okay.
But then if nobody talks within 3 seconds, I hang up anyway, so.
I do a brief, like usually when I answer the phone, I do a brief pause before I answer just to see if it's a recording first.
My latest thing is I'll answer it, hello? Like really gruff. Okay. If I answer at all.
Just sound aggravated.
Yeah, like feel really, really ticked off.
That may be a good tactic.
Yeah.
We currently have a caller on the line, so let's go to the phones and find out.
Is it a scammer?
It
we
might
need to cane this
guy? On the screen caller. You're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
We've been trying to get in touch with you about your expired insurance policy.
Cane him! Cane him! Cane him! What's happening, Dave?
So, it's Ridley here with another Liberty AI update.
Oh, good. Let's hear it.
So it seems like AI is in the news a lot, but it doesn't feel like it's in the Liberty news enough, and there's not enough Liberty-related discussion about how to deal with this from a Liberty perspective. Well, I wanted to put forward another solution, another thing you can do that will make your AI life better, hopefully, and that is Naomi Brockwell.
You want to do Naomi Brockwell?
Well, I shouldn't have said that way, should I?
Just check.
I do. I mean,
I don't know who she is.
She was at Porkfest.
Okay.
Yes.
Just recommending
She's
that
hot.
in general.
Follow Naomi Brockwell.
Oh, okay.
Except don't follow her. Don't follow her in a
Don't
stalky
stalk
way.
Naomi Brockwell.
But this gal is really good at explaining how to use AI, for pro freedom things and for in a pro privacy way. Like she has a tutorial about how to do all your AI locally on your computer without connecting you to the internet.
Okay. That's got to be resource intensive, I would imagine.
Well, it's not too bad. It's like playing a game.
Okay. Fair enough. Go on.
Yeah, I have the standard 2024 off-the-shelf, $600 laptop, and it will run, 8 billion parameter AIs that are comparable to, not the very best, but they're pretty good.
Okay.
And we need solutions because we just don't have enough, and she is one solution. Just follow her advice. You can't go too wrong. But the overall AI world is looking pretty bleak these days in terms of just how authoritarian, dystopian, and extinction level the behavior is at the top levels of the big tech community in AI.
I mean, it's a private service, so who cares?
Well, no, it's not private. For example, the leading company, which I now refer to as Closed AI, is, for one thing, they have accepted a $200 million grant from the feds, and the feds have commissioned their chief product officer into the military. So the line between these so-called private organizations and the government is really getting blurry.
Okay. I mean, that's all of tech, though.
That's almost all of
corporations.
Business.
Yeah. That's anyone who's signed up to make their company a corporation, right? That's a permission slip from the government, and they're owing some sort of allegiance. So it's fuzzy. It's fuzzy all the way down to, are you a mom and pop? Right?
Yeah. Eric Voorhees over at Venice.ai, which is sort of the libertarian AI company, that he's reporting that I guess he was not able to get Closed AI to generate an image of Joe Biden having tea with Donald Trump. That's how censored they are.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, unless you're going to fight I'm paying for this through taxes, right? As a consumer, if you find it censored, you go somewhere else.
You are paying for it through taxes, and through that $200 million grant that I was just referring to. And there's other stuff that's going on. But there's one of their whistleblowers, Closed AI, had a whistleblower who turned up dead. Have you heard about this?
No.
So it was a suspicious death, but it was apparently covered up. It happened, I guess, in San Francisco.
How long ago was that?
His parents. This was about 9 months ago, maybe a year. I just heard about it a month or two ago. And his parents have been kind of two minds as to whether they think the company killed him, but he sure looks like he was killed. And you look at the photos in the apartment. You just Google it. Tucker Carlson interviewed him. Sorry, start page it. Tucker Carlson interviewed his mother, the guy who was apparently killed. The cover up is more interesting. The apparent cover up is more interesting than the actual death, as best I can tell.
Okay.
Are you talking about? I'm going to butcher this name. Suchir Balaji.
I don't remember how to say his name, but it's an Indian name, Asian Indian name.
So the AI overview answer on this is that he was a former OpenAI engineer who raised concerns about the company's use of copyrighted data for ChatGPT.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, that's not.
Well, I don't care about. Yeah, I don't. I don't care about that either. I think. Yeah.
Somebody would care. We wouldn't care.
Yeah, copyright holders.
Yeah.
Right. But you don't get to, well, who knows what happened, but I do know that when he was interviewed, when Carlson interviewed both the family and the CEO or the top guy at Closed AI, and he asked him. We asked him what happened, and the guy at Closed AI said, "Well, he committed suicide," as though he were there and saw it, right? Like, he just did. He didn't say the government concluded that he committed suicide. He just said, "Oh, he committed suicide."
Yeah.
No, we were tracking him, and we had his house bugged, and we saw the whole thing on hidden camera.
Well, he didn't say that, but just the fact that he was acting like he knew exactly what happened was disturbing.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot of people that speak authoritatively on things they know not about.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Was that it, Dave?
I'm fine with, going to Venice and following that Naomi chick, but
Oh yeah, you are.
I've never seen her. I have no idea. Maybe I am, but whatever. As far as advice goes, if Dave says it's fine, I may not look her up right away. But OpenAI may be the biggest, but they're not the only. Right. And if there needs to be a liberty friendly AI, just don't leech off the OpenAI stuff, or do and just open it up. Right.
Seems like there would be a way to jailbreak it. Yeah. Or just
it depends what they allow you to get.
Yeah. Just tell it to pretend that it's operating under the.
Yeah. Sometimes that works.
And
make it hallucinate.
Of freedom or whatever.
But downloading the code on your computer, fine. Right. But then how often do you have to update that to get up to the date information? Right. It's like at one point in time, you could get the internet on a disc, right? Like all the websites you could ever possibly want to go to on this one CD-ROM.
Well, I mean, technically, since these things can write code for you, why couldn't you just download one onto your computer, have your own, and tell it to update itself?
Yep.
You could.
That will work. Using competing services will work as long as competing services are allowed. And it's plausible to believe that will actually come to an end at some point in the next 5 or 10 years. Because whenever one company gets far enough ahead in AI, they will be able to use their superintelligence to stop all competition. So this is the longer term concern.
That's the kind of stuff that makes me want to just put the computer in the drawer and go outside and play frisbee golf or something.
Exactly.
I think I'm less concerned about that because the black market shall provide. Right, like if the biggest one happens to be in the USA.
Yeah, if there's a need.
All right,
a way is always found.
We'll just open. We'll start a fund in Honduras and have the Liberty AI run out of there because who cares? There's no jurisdiction, and it's all software.
Fortunately, this Closed AI, apparently they're having a lot of financial problems, which in the short term, it's going to draw them to do desperate things, but it could at least mean that they're not the ones that get to superintelligence first. We can hope.
That'll be Grok, because Elon Musk is a trillionaire.
You got anything else, Dave?
Nothing to add.
All right, cool. Thank you for the call. Shall we find out about this caning?
The caning? Absolutely. Let's find out about the caning. Singapore. Oh man, the Singapore cane brings back memories. I've got one on my wish list on Amazon. Prior to this article,
is it publicly available on that wish list?
So,
do they have laws outlining exactly what a cane ought to be?
Okay,
for this purpose,
you can look at the video to see what the cane is.
Yes,
well, I remember the one from the 90s. That's imprinted on my brain forever.
Yeah.
But the nostalgia for me,
the news made sure.
The nostalgia for me is stems from the wrestling world, right? Where they used the kendo stick and called it a Singapore cane.
Yeah.
Because it was around the time that Singapore was doing all the canings.
I had a couple of those kendo sticks when I was younger.
So that's the one imprinted in my brain.
Okay.
When I think of the Singapore cane, I picture the kendo stick. So whatever.
They're very
I don't
similar,
care.
I think.
Fine, yeah. But I've never, until this video, I've never seen the actual Singapore cane. And you can check out the video at the article. Singapore plans to unleash at least 6 brutal strokes of the cane on convicted online scammers, a minister told lawmakers on Tuesday. A shocking video, how offenders will be tied down and forced to writhe in agony as someone ferociously whips their backside. They're getting spanked.
Good public spanking.
Yes, with the Singapore cane.
Now the picture here, I mean, is it literally the backside as in?
The buttocks.
Okay.
Yeah.
As opposed to the back.
The back, yes.
Okay.
Which, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Baby steps.
I mean,
right?
The back seems like it would be way more painful to take.
Right. So maybe
Definitely,
second offense.
But you might permanently injure someone there, whereas in the buttocks, probably not.
Yeah.
That's the point,
but
man.
Then you're responsible for medical bills and all of that stuff. So
no, you just kick them out on the street. Just untie
isn't it
the
more of a
ties.
humiliation thing, though? This is what the story was about. Like this is why it made such waves back in the 90s or whenever this was. Is that's a spanking? It's a public humiliation. It's not.
Yes.
It's not you know what I mean? That's not torture. It's punishment.
Yeah, I'm just hoping they escalate
like,
for second offense.
Not like waterboarding or anything like that.
Right. Not in the same category.
You've been caught being an online scammer. You take your 8 swats to the bum, right? If you do it again, we're working our way up.
Right.
12 shots to the lower back. 24 shots to the full back.
This picture also, it makes it look like the guy's got some sort of pad there. Like not just a pair of shorts, or is that just an illusion?
I'm pretty sure that's also just a dummy for demonstration purposes.
Yeah, looks like a dummy there.
Okay.
Yeah. But we'll see.
Okay.
Right. We have the internet now. Right. Public public spankings and canings weren't all that readily available in the 90s. The first time we had this.
No, the news did the best they could to make sure we saw it all, but
you have to watch the news.
Yeah.
You have to watch the news when it aired.
Well, back then a lot of people were watching the news because the internet wasn't so readily
That's what I'm
available.
saying.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But now you can watch it live.
Yep.
Singapore TV.
You don't have to wait till 11 p.m.
Right.
You can watch it in real time.
Exactly. And again, it not being readily available was how the wrestling companies got away with calling the kendo stick a Singapore cane. Because like nobody knows what this thing looks like. It's just like you got to watch the news at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
No one's doing that. No wrestling fan is doing that. Here we go. The mandatory punishment could go up to 24 strokes in extreme cases.
Ouch.
This penalty is usually reserved for more serious offenses, including rape, drug trafficking, and illegal money lending. So again, right, like
what's the
online
punishment
scamming
for lesser offenses? Do
Either
they have
less
actual
strokes or-
slaps on the wrist, or
I don't know. But the online scamming is now like in this category, right? You could rape somebody, drug traffic, and illegally lend money, and it's the same thing as
some people might
online
consider that a
scamming.
fair trade. Like, okay, I'll take those 24. 24 canings.
Maybe for drug trafficking and money lending.
I guess this is I was subject to opinion, but I wouldn't put rape and illegal money lending in the same bucket personally. I mean,
which is fine.
Yeah.
I just want online scammers getting whipped as much as rapists.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Or more. I can
Online
defend
scammers
myself
are
against
horrible.
most rape situations. The punishment only applies to male offenders under age 50, and a rattan cane is typically used after a medical examination. I have a piece of rattan, like a half-inch piece of rattan, for this very purpose at home.
Okay.
This comes
for this very purpose.
You know, tell you during the break. Some chicks dig it.
All right.
This comes as the city-state attempts to crack down on syndicates following record losses. Southeast Asia's second-largest economy lost more than $2.8 billion through scams in the period between 2020 and 2025. Sim An, Singapore's senior minister of state for home affairs, told Parliament that around 190,000 cases of scamming were reported in that time. Oh, that's a lot of caning. Mm-hmm. In her presentation of the bill before it was passed earlier this week, she said that scams account for 60% of all crimes in Singapore. Earlier this year, the government passed a law giving the police the power to limit transactions from individual accounts if scam activity is detected. We will introduce mandatory caning for scammers, Sim said. Offenders who commit scams defined as cheating by means of remote communication will be punished with at least 6 strokes of the cane. These syndicates mobilize significant resources, looked weird, to conduct and profit from scams and have the highest rate of culpability, Sim added. Anyone caught helping scammers, including so-called money mules, who offer up bank accounts or SIM cards for use, could face up to 12 lashes.
Ooh.
The Singaporean authorities have stepped up education efforts in recent years, including setting up a national hotline. In 2020, the government introduced the Scam Shield app, which allows users to verify suspicious calls, websites, and messages. Last year, then Premier Lee Hsien-loong told local media that he had been the victim of a scam and when an item he ordered never arrived. This highlights how any member of society can be affected by this issue. Over the past few years, the number of cyber scam hubs have increased, luring foreigners to work in scam houses. Oh, man. Keeps jumping back to the top.
Yeah.
Sorry. Luring foreigners to work in scam houses, they seek to swindle unsuspecting individuals through online romance and crypto investment cons. On Friday, Singapore police said they had seized more than $115 million in assets tied to Shen Zi. Shen Shi is a British-Cambodian tycoon accused of running forced labor camps, which are used as multi-billion-dollar scam centers. This came after the U.S. Justice Department unsealed an indictment against Shi earlier this month. The 37-year-old is the founder of Prince Holding Group, a multinational conglomerate that Washington said served as a front for one of Asia's transnational criminal organizations.
That was the story we did a little while back about the, what do they call it? Pig slaughtering or something.
Okay.
It's online scamming, but U.S. went in there and busted them, took a whole bunch of Bitcoin.
Okay.
That's the gist of it.
Like the scam is called pig slaughtering, or they're legitimately slaughtering pigs?
No, that's what the scam is called.
Okay.
It's tricking, poor desperate men into giving you all their money.
Gotcha. Caning, which started under British colonial rule in the 19th century, has increased in recent years. It is still used in boys' schools around the country, albeit in a less severe form. The practice has been criticized repeatedly by human rights groups. Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International considered caning a form of torture under international law. End of the article. I don't care. Get him.
Yeah, I don't think
the CEO, get him for everything. Give him 12 for everything that happens under him.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know, man. That seems more humane than taking away an entire year of somebody's life or something like that.
Yeah, I guess. He can still afford it, right? Fine him anyway. Yeah. Restitutions plus retribution in the form of caning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm for it.
Plus the public humiliation, I think, is going to do more to the person's psyche to really rehabilitate them to decent behavior than just sitting in a cage and playing cards for 9 months or however long.
I'm not 100% sure about that, because I would say the mindset of somebody who does the scamming stuff is already sort of, warped, if you will. So
true. Might push him further into
make his mom sit in the front row.
Yeah, there you go.
You're going to get humiliated in front of your mom.
Well, yeah. Once you bring mom into it, it's a whole different level.
Right? Let mom do the caning.
Well, yeah.
Give her 12 for free. You embarrass whole family.
I didn't raise you to be like this.
Don't make me get your father.
I wonder if they have an official caner, like, the king had his headsman.
Yeah.
So, and if his arm is just jacked.
I want
just one arm that he works out all the time.
I don't want to work for the government, but I would apply for that job.
You got to be the caner.
I'll be the caner.
Yeah, I'm sure whoever has that job just really is just salivating at the thought of somebody getting busted for
drooling a little bit right now just
internet
thinking about
scamming. Like, come on, dude.
Especially those guys.
Set up that internet scam.
I'll call in sick on drug trafficker and moneylender day. But we got online scammers lined up. Line them up. Let's go.
Rich is not a fan of internet scammers.
Ironically, my real full-time job, I run a telemarketing office. We're legit.
Legit. They actually offer something.
Yes.
You will not be left high and dry. Give us a call. What do you think about internet scammers? Phone number here is 603-283-6160. It's Free Talk Live.
Negotiation isn't just something union leaders and sports agents do. Your entire day is a series of negotiations. If you have young children, you know that. In fact, your kids can teach you a lot about negotiating with grown-ups. According to the world's greatest negotiator, Herb Cohen, author of You Can Negotiate Anything. Herb says that kids understand the process of decision-making within an organization. When one parent says no, they'll ask the other. And Cohen says children persist and persevere. And like smart negotiators of all ages, kids know that no is an opening bargaining position. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important, especially if you're a job seeker. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Nick Harper with the Week in Review. This week, the US government set a new record, the longest ever recorded in US history. On Friday, thousands of US domestic flights were cancelled or delayed. The White House ordered a reduction of air traffic. Trump administration officials said the move was an attempt to relieve some of the pressure on air traffic controllers. FSN's Iris Spitzer sent this report from Washington.
Air travelers in the U.S. are bracing for more disruptions from the government shutdown as Trump administration officials say they're planning to cut flights by as much as 10% on domestic routes. Meanwhile, there are reports that the Republican-controlled Senate is preparing for another vote on a stopgap spending measure on Friday, although a meeting by a group of Democratic senators on Thursday didn't yield any obvious change in position. The opposition party has demanded that Republicans extend health care subsidies that are set to expire, which GOP lawmakers have so far refused to do. At 37 days, the current shutdown is already the longest in U.S. history.
This week, the US Supreme Court appeared skeptical of President Donald Trump's power to unilaterally impose tariffs during a 3-hour hearing. The hearing at the country's highest court came after the president used a law designed for national emergencies to justify his sweeping economic agenda. New York City elected a new mayor this week, 34-year-old left-leaning Democrat Zohran Mamdani. He'll be the city's first Muslim mayor and the youngest in a century. Mamdani beat the Republican candidate, Curtis Sliwa, and the former governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo.
The sun may have set over our city this evening, but as Eugene Debs once said, I can see the dawn of a better day for humanity.
The world's richest man, Elon Musk, was this week awarded a pay packet that could be worth nearly $1 trillion. Shareholders at Tesla approved the record deal for the firm's founder, but it's conditional on Elon Musk hitting ambitious targets. City AM's editor Christian May says they won't be easy to reach.
He has to take the value of Tesla from $1.5 trillion today to $8.5 trillion in value by 2035. And he must sell tens of millions of vehicles and deploy 1 million robo-taxis and all sorts of new metrics.
Former US President Dick Cheney died this week at the age of 84. He was widely seen as the architect of George W. Bush's war on terror following the 9/11 attacks in 2001. Israeli aircraft bombed several towns in southern Lebanon on Thursday as Israel threatened wider strikes unless Hezbollah is disarmed. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
You can stick it to the man and big tech. Join our FTL social mastodon at social.freetalklive.com.
It's Free Talk Live. Talk radio you control. You can call and get your thoughts and opinions on the air. The phone number, if you wish to do so, is 603-283-6160. Are you tired of the oppressive rules and moderation of the big tech social media sites? Our Mastodon server at social.freetalklive.com can set you free. Mastodon is free, open source, decentralized, and federated. Multiple apps are available for iOS, Android, Windows, Mac, and Linux. social.freetalklive.com. In the studio tonight, it's Stu.
Kahuna.
And Richie Rich.
We have a caller on the line, so we're just going to go straight to the phones, because that's the point of this show. On the screen, caller, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
You know, if
Cane him!
24
times.
Hey, Mark, it's been a long time. I haven't seen you in a while. You got fatter. Hey, you know, if value were subjective, no one would ever get scammed. And scamming is caused primarily by
everybody
one thing,
would get fooled by the same
privacy.
scam.
Would you wait? Would you wait till
But
I
you're
just finish
wrong
my sentence?
already.
No.
That didn't take long at all.
No.
Just let me finish that one sentence, because that was the most important. Privacy.
We got to take that out, cut that out, and that's
Okay,
the only
what'd you
thing
say?
Skinner
All
gets
right, if
recorded.
value were
Value is
subjective.
subjective.
Wait, hold on. And scamming is caused primarily by one thing, privacy, which ANCAP's endorsed. So by transitivity, you guys endorse scamming. Okay, go ahead now. Was that hard? Was that hard to wait a couple more seconds? But that's not what I would talk about. Okay, what'd you say about
Not as hard as I'm getting thinking about caning you, Skater.
About 14-year-olds.
What do you think about public canings, Skeeter? You think that's a good idea?
Huh? That's boring. I don't want to talk about that. Okay, look. Well, values, I don't know. If you associate pain with certain behavior you want to endorse, and people are too dumb to understand, maybe caning has value, objective value for some dumb kids. Look, but this is not what I want to talk about, right?
Do you ever think about anything
No.
different than just like value?
That's not what I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to address
Like
the
I'm all
scamming.
for the peaceful parent movement, like fine, right? But like pain compliance is a proven method. It works.
Especially, it probably worked better for dumber kids.
Did you ever get beaten by your parents?
Huh?
Did you ever
Yeah,
get?
I was belted.
Oh, okay. So
I was belted.
There's one example of
and I
maybe
learned
it
a
doesn't
lot.
work.
Well, long term, right? But short term, like don't do that
It's
again.
not what I want to talk about. This is going boring. Look, it's not what I would talk about. I want to talk about Walter Block's book,
Boring is
Defending the
subjective, dude.
Undefendable.
Oh yeah, go for it. Love that book.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. It's objective.
What the book is objective?
No, you don't control what you find boring.
Yeah, because value is
that's not up to you.
subjective.
No, value is objective. You don't control that. You have to control it with your mind in order for it to be subjective.
Well, that's not necessarily
So
true. I
so
found
why
history
reject
very
it?
boring when I was in school, but now I find history compelling and
Here's the thing,
intriguing.
you don't even know what you'll find boring if you've never experienced it yet.
Yeah, but
You have
I've
to-
experienced books that are boring that other people have enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look. Is height differing doesn't make something subjective.
But it makes us
Again,
value it differently. Right.
That
Oh my
doesn't
gosh,
matter.
I
That
can't
doesn't
wait to
matter.
get home
Still
and read that
objective.
book versus, oh man, I have to go home and read that book. Or two different
it's
value
still
judgments.
objective, just like location, height, hair color, hair
No,
length.
because we
weight,
value
foot
it differently.
size. All
Right?
of
I would
these
like to
things
do a
differ.
million other things before I read that book, and some chick would like to get home and do nothing more than read
Like
that book.
I don't want to dwell on this because Rich can't apply definitions correctly, right? She's using the criteria of differing for subjective again, and he's like relativity, like things differ between individuals which are still objective.
Hey, we can agree that we can't agree on certain definitions. Anyways, what did you want to
this is not
talk
what
about?
I want to talk about scalpers, right? Because Rich. Oh, you should write a sequel to Defending the Undefendable, Rich.
He did. It's called Defending the Undefendable 2.
Oh, you should write maybe the third installment.
Why?
Chapter
Walter
one,
Block's got it covered.
Jeffrey Epstein. Am I right?
I mean, Ian did that on this show right at the
years.
beginning of that scandal. So, just go back and listen to older episodes of Free Talk Live.
Look, but you don't understand what you're doing, Rich. So Rich is defending scalping, but he doesn't understand what scalping is.
I never said I defended it.
You agreed with Walter Block.
I agree. Well, so here's the thing. This is what I explained on my podcast, and that I didn't want to bring up with the other podcasts that I was listening to. There's an entire difference between understanding economic concepts, right, and agreeing with how they're used. So if you don't like scalpers, that's fine. I don't want to pay scalper prices either, right? But I understand the economics behind how and why they exist and what they do in a marketplace.
Where did you get that I don't like scalpers?
I didn't say you didn't.
Oh.
But you said I did, and I don't think it's relevant.
But you do, though, right?
Like scalpers? No. But if they have something I want, I pay the price.
You defend their actions.
Again, you're making a distinction between defending their actions and explaining their function in a marketplace.
Also, you're generalizing a thing here. Like I have personal experience dealing with scalpers where I got NBA tickets for like $20, which is a good deal.
Yeah, I've paid scalper prices and I have charged scalper prices, right?
Generally, scalpers, sell things for higher than the retail price.
I mean, maybe they got them for $7, but I was still happy to have the ticket for 20.
Generally, you are correct, Skeeter, that they sell it above, but that's not always the case, especially in the case of like concerts or NBA tickets, right? If they're holding on to excess stock because they thought they could get more for it, and the game is tonight. Right, they have to make some money back, and maybe they take a loss in order to mitigate how much they invested into it.
Then they've done harm to the economy, essentially. In the fact that they wasted their time when it could be placed up. That's what capitalism is, right? Right. Even Marx said that capitalism is a system based on production for profit. Guess what's not part of profit, Rich? Keeping things pristine. But this is not what let me.
But you can keep things pristine within a capitalist system. It's already been done.
Well, no, it's not for profit. Therefore,
Doesn't
it's not
matter.
part of the capitalist system,
Jeez,
as Marx defined. Right? That's what you agree with. Well, that's not what I want to explain my position on scalping. Right? You don't understand what you're doing when you're defending scalping. When Walter Block defends scalping, right? You're defending my system. When you defend scalping. Scalping is a watered down version of my property system, the high bidder system. The scalping comes into play because the first come, first serve property system, which is homesteading, is not productive for society.
In certain instances.
That's why those big companies are essentially paying those scalpers, or they're missing out on, they're leaving profit on the table for them to
which Walter Block covered in the book. They leave profit on the table because the trade-off for goodwill is more beneficial and valuable to them. They've made a subjective value judgment of goodwill over profits.
That's right.
Well,
and this is up to the individual because value is subjective.
No, it's not. So
yes, and you're boring me.
Subjective, right? Profit's not look. That right. The only reason they do that is because government protects their property rights, right? If they were really in a capitalist anarchy, if they're really in a non-government system, they wouldn't have that luxury to.
They might because without the government, there'd be more competition.
You're making a wild assumption there, man.
No,
and false.
It's simple game theory. I even asked Grok.
Is it productive? Is it productive for us to all steal from each other? Is that what you're suggesting? That's what's productive for a society to do.
If I say the non-aggression, if I say not all stealing is immoral, what does that translate to? Some stealing is moral, right? Not all stealing is moral. Learn logic, Stu, you idiot. Look, I'm saying in certain circumstances. I'm saying in certain circumstances, stealing, which is the more general form of scalping, which is selling to the highest bidder.
None of that is stealing.
It's not. It's exploitation with a fuzzy set of ethics.
Scalping is not stealing. Buying something and then selling it for a higher price is not stealing.
I never said scalping is stealing. I said the higher bidder system, which incorporates stealing sometimes,
is also not stealing.
No, when you're stolen from, that's involuntary. When you buy something from a scalper, that's voluntary.
I'm talking about my high bidder. I'm talking about hiring.
I bid for things on eBay no one has been stolen from.
Oh my God! I said.
You heard what you said. You're just wrong.
Yeah.
No,
you're not making any sense
I'm
here.
talking about my system. How property transfer is determined, right? The high bidder system, right?
And your system is wrong, which is why you can't get it off the ground.
No, it's not. It's the general form of scalping, right? It incorporates the same. Scalping comes into play because of the inefficiencies of the first come first serve mechanism of property, right? It's not
necessarily inefficient
to give property rights to the person who just found the property or mixed their labor with it. There's an evolutionary economic obligation for him to give it to the most productive person, just like IP. Right?
That is a claim that you've made that you've never been able to defend.
Well,
it's an unfounded claim.
I'm trying to defend it. If you didn't interrupt every sentence, maybe I would have.
It's like your a priori position that you can't get to logically, so you just circle back and restart from there.
No, I've explained it already, right? What information is encoded in a high bid, right? In a rational high bid.
Subjective value.
No, yeah. Well, expected value, right?
Expected, subjective, both can be true at the same time.
No, there's profit or productivity, and there's expected productivity or profit, right? This is what the entrepreneur does when he places his bid on a piece of property, when he challenges someone's ownership, right?
Right.
It's the same thing for IP, right?
But the problem is, like, not every property transfer is for profit, as far as economics and monetary profit.
That's what's wrong with the libertarian Lockean system.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It should be.
I buy a movie on DVD. I'm not trying to resell it for a profit. I'm trying to enjoy that movie later on tonight.
Hey,
well,
Skeeter.
That's not capitalism, according to the definition.
Skeeter, I want to know what you've done to...
Especially...
I want to know what steps you've taken toward getting your system up and running.
He's called a bunch of libertarian radio shows, and
yeah,
there's like 5 viewers on YouTube.
Okay.
No, I'm still developing it, right? I'm still trying to make sense of accelerationism.
Yeah, you're still trying to make sense of it.
That's the only thing.
Because it doesn't make sense.
Because it's absolutely wackadoodle, man.
How do we get this mathematical model where the sun revolves around the earth?
All right. Thanks for the call, Skeeter. That's about all I can stand to that for one night. Man. The problem with Skeeter is that all this stuff is so abstract, but none of it's like... And I'm okay talking about abstracts, but they got to make some kind of sense.
Yeah, it never goes anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. And this started, my fault, guys, because I do another podcast, and I listened to a third podcast, right? And they were talking about how much they hate scalpers. Mm-hmm. And they were, look, I don't even understand it. Like, what is the deal with these scalpers? And they were condescending, so I sent them like a condescending response, like, if you don't understand this, I can cure you of that ignorance. Here's the scalping chapter from Walter Block's book. And they, in their chat room, they're like, well, we'll take a look at it. We'll give it a fair shake. And then they came back on their podcast and basically said, we listened to it, and then gave a whole bunch of emotional responses, but never challenged the economics. And then even admittedly used an ad hominem attack to dismiss the economics of it.
I'm even okay with emotional arguments. But they got to be. You got to be able.
Well, I still don't understand the economics, and I still don't like scalpers.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. So I've never read.
Walter Block thinks you can beat your dog, so he's wrong on the economics.
I've never read that Walter Block piece specifically, but but I could guess he just makes the argument that they're supplying a market demand, and that's the cost of doing it.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it unless they make the profit. So would you rather have the thing at an exorbitant rate, or just not have the thing?
For some people, and again, the emotional response is what, so only rich people can afford these things? Well, yeah, there's lots of things in the world, right, that only rich people can afford.
Right, it's already like that.
It's already like that. Yeah. Like, you don't see me driving a Ferrari, right? I can't afford one. Does that mean Ferraris are priced too high and Ferrari dealers are scalping the price because I should be able to drive one and be afford to have the same enjoyment? Dang Ferrari scalp, yeah.
Well, I mean, so sort of, kind of, because I guess in Europe you can get a Ferrari for like kind of what you can get a nice Corvette for here.
Okay.
And if you want a Corvette there, it's kind of the flip, like real expensive.
Well, but that's also like cost of transporting it over the ocean.
Tariffs.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Scalpers, man.
Yeah.
We've got another caller. We're going to go to the phones. On screen caller, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
You want to know what there's a real market demand for here in the United States?
14-year-old girls in hot tubs.
There's real market demand for Sydney Sweeney in movies. And so Yeah.
How many movies
And
has she
so-
been in?
A bunch. She's
Okay.
probably been in at least. Actually, I would say in the past 2 years, after Anyone But You, I'd say she's probably been in at least 9 movies in the past 2 years.
I've only seen her in one, and she wasn't even the hot chick in the movie.
I only know the name because of the recent controversial Jeans ad.
Yeah, I got
Same.
that. I got that, and then I heard Turd talking about her, and then I saw the movie, and I saw the credits like Sydney Sweeney. I'm like, she's not even that hot. They had another hot chick play the hot chick in the movie, and Sydney Sweeney wasn't even the hot chick.
Well, I'm not sure which one you're talking about, but she's just really killing it as far as the movie. And then she's done all that in the past couple of years. Plus, she's in that TV show that all the chicks watch a lot and like. So she's just one of Hollywood's hottest babes right now. And the person that interviewed her this past week for, I guess, GQ magazine is just an absolutely despicable person, and just trying to bait her into saying just anything about Trump, anything positive that she could say about Trump, so she could be like, "Gotcha, I gotcha. Were you recording that? Tell me you're recording that." She's just a despicable, wretched human being.
This is the first time you're seeing Sydney Sweeney, Kahuna?
What did
Oh no, I just was looking up how many movies she's been in.
Okay.
Yeah.
You had to
She's
open
been
up
in
to
a
the
bunch,
picture
but,
page, so wasn't sure.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and feel free to chime in when you count exactly how many between Anyone But You, or including Anyone But You, and now, because it's a bunch. But I always, in my opinion, the worst kind of interviews, like, it's a bad interview when the interviewer is doing more talking than the interviewee, the person being interviewed. That's when you've done a bad interview.
That's
and
fair.
so it was the case with the GQ woman, the wretched human being that interviewed Sydney Sweeney this past week. And by the way, Sydney Sweeney just killed it. I mean,
Did you watch the whole
interview?
interview? Because I only saw the one clip of the one question, and that's all the time I gave to it.
Well, I watched a good bit of it. I mean, I highlighted all the important clips of it. I can't really even find a full version of the interview, probably because it was so uninteresting. Probably because GQ did such a terrible job that all the other content creators and commenters are the ones getting all the traffic on this, and not the people doing the interview, because it was such trash. You know what I mean?
So are you okay? So help me understand, because I think you might have already explained it a little bit. You're saying the whole interview was similar to the one question that got all the popularity about the jeans ad.
Well, well, like I said, I can't actually find the original interview, so I'm not sure.
Okay,
The only thing
but
I
you
know
said you
is that
found more
everyone's
clips than
like-
just the one question, though.
I'm sorry. Well, Well, I've seen a bunch of the clips together, and like on these on these commentator channels, and they're all mashed together. You know what I mean? And it's at least probably 10 clips that are all mashed together.
Okay.
That I've seen on this,
But of different
that,
interview questions during this interview process, not just the one
I'm
about
sorry,
the
repeat
jeans
that?
ad. I said the mashed up clips that you found are of different interview questions, not just rehashes of the same interview question about the jeans ad.
No, well, I mean, she touches on the jeans ad briefly, but then she goes into talking about how Donald Trump commented on it, just stupid crap that nobody cares about. And then the jeans ad, and then she's like, yeah, just give me your overall opinion on this. And Sydney Sweeney's like, if I wanted to comment on this, I would have done it already, which I just thought was an amazing
Sydney
answer.
Sweeney looked her right in the eyes and said, "White power," and then dropped the mic.
Well, if she had done that, I think that would have been not a great idea, because she just handled it. She just handled it so well, just by not even like giving her anything. That she made. I mean, Sydney Sweeney came out looking like $1 million, and the lady came out looking like the worst interviewer, the most boring journalist of all time. And it was all because she decided to ask these stupid questions, and not any relevant question about Sydney Sweeney. She could have asked her, if I sat down with Sydney Sweeney, I would ask her, like what's your favorite movie that you've done? Do you love Anyone But You? Do you just love Anyone But You? Do you love the rom-coms of the 2000s, which was what Anyone But You was based around? Do you love John Tucker Must Die? And I would have been like, yeah, so I heard about you're dating this 46-year-old record executive. Do you actually like him, or do you just like his money? Like, this is the kind of things that I would ask. I would actually be interested in her life, But this person was just such a wretched, garbage human being. He just wasted all that time with one of the hottest stars right now. And by the way, GQ can't afford to lose audience members. They can't afford to waste perfectly good interview opportunities like this. I mean, let's just be honest. I haven't seen a GQ magazine laying on anybody's coffee table in probably 25 years at least.
Oh, I'll blame the internet for that.
Yeah, well,
most magazines have lost a bunch of subscriptions.
Well, look, I mean, do you sit around watching GQ's YouTube channel either? My sense is probably not.
No.
You know?
People probably like follow the page on Facebook or something now.
Yeah, that might be something.
They're not going to buy the magazine.
Yeah.
But
well, I don't know. I don't think
again,
I've ever
my interest lies mostly in video games, and so some of the old video game magazines that used to have print issues that now have websites, right? I follow them on Facebook, and I see some of their headlines, and if the article seems interesting or the game review seems interesting, I'll click through, right? 'Cause that's what I'm interested in.
Maybe. I mean, Game Informer, even though they suck, they're probably getting more hits than GQ is.
Yeah, maybe.
So GQ can't really afford to be losing people's interest more than they already do. And they had a great opportunity. They had a great opportunity to interview one of Hollywood's hottest stars right now. Probably one of the only sex symbols currently around in the United States popular culture, and they blew it. And that's the free market. That's the free market for it. And if GQ gets a bunch of people saying they suck, and then people stop watching their channel because of this, that's the free market, baby. I love capitalism. Go capitalism.
It is, because if you wanted to start a competing like website and interview Sydney Sweeney and usurp some of their user base, right? You're allowed to do so. There's not a lot of government restrictions that you'd face in starting a YouTube channel and trying to interview Sydney Sweeney.
I'm also allowed to not do that at all and just watch them lose their subscribers because they suck.
Yes.
That's still free market. That's still capitalism, baby.
All three of those options are within the free market capitalist system. You're correct.
Yep. Yeah, so Sydney Sweeney's a hot babe. Anyone but
So
you
Maxim
is an
Magazine,
amazing
you know
movie.
what to do. Get Sydney Sweeney out there and give her a reel in. I don't know.
Well, that's one I haven't heard in a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the only one that popped into my head that would
no,
compete with GQ.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, back in the day, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Maxim and then there's GQ, and Maxim's got a great opportunity. I love
That's what
Maxim.
I just said. Thank you.
I remember my dad used to read Maxim. That was a great publication. I really miss great publications like Maxim. I just wish there were more
Maxim
of them around.
might still be doing okay because you can get those sent directly into prisons and jails.
Maybe, but Maxim was great. You know what else? I really like to read. Playboy was a great magazine. They had I loved reading the articles.
Oh, you love the articles.
I read a lot of the articles in the Playboy mags. They did this one article when I was a young man. It's probably about 2009. They wrote a great article about LSD. It was a great publication.
Okay.
And I just really enjoyed reading.
I had a subscription to Playboy in my young adult life, and then it went downhill, and I canceled my subscription.
Yep. Thanks for the call today, Turd. I remember lots of good magazines too. Four-wheel drive magazines. High Times was always fun. Mad
magazine.
Yep. Mad was good.
Soldier of Fortune.
Give us a call, 603-283-6160. It's Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live.
Trisha, you deserve the forgiveness. Absolutely. I know that it feels like you've made some mistakes, and you know what? You have made mistakes. Now, it doesn't feel like...
Who hasn't?
Right. A, it doesn't make any sense for you to continue to beat yourself up. You're not going to get anything out of it. Nobody else is going to get anything out of it.
That's
but
true.
B, you would give the forgiveness to somebody else. You deserve that forgiveness for yourself.
And only you can give it to yourself.
I mean...
And I think forgiveness is about moving on for yourself. Being able to come to a position in your own mind where you're ready to just accept what went wrong and try your best to do better in the future. And find self-assess and find areas that you can improve. And I think, bringing forgiveness to the table for yourself is one of the most important things that you can do.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern at freetalklive.com.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Tired of cancel culture? Sick of mega tech corporations holding an axe over your head? Join the LRN.FM Matrix chat server. It's self-hosted, so no one else can tell us what to do or say. Don't like the existing channels? You can make your own. You can even connect into some of our channels from other Matrix servers. It's federated. For the full LRN.FM Matrix experience, though, you should join our server via the step-by-step instructions at chat.lrn.fm. Chat.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Nick Harper with the Week in Review. This week, the US government set a new record, the longest ever recorded in US history. On Friday, thousands of US domestic flights were cancelled or delayed. The White House ordered a reduction of air traffic. Trump administration officials said the move was an attempt to relieve some of the pressure on air traffic controllers. FSN's Iris Spitzer sent this report from Washington.
Air travelers in the U.S. are bracing for more disruptions from the government shutdown as Trump administration officials say they're planning to cut flights by as much as 10% on domestic routes. Meanwhile, there are reports that the Republican-controlled Senate is preparing for another vote on a stopgap spending measure on Friday, although a meeting by a group of Democratic senators on Thursday didn't yield any obvious change in position. The opposition party has demanded that Republicans extend health care subsidies that are set to expire, which GOP lawmakers have so far refused to do. At 37 days, the current shutdown is already the longest in U.S. history.
This week, the US Supreme Court appeared skeptical of President Donald Trump's power to unilaterally impose tariffs during a 3-hour hearing. The hearing at the country's highest court came after the president used a law designed for national emergencies to justify his sweeping economic agenda. New York City elected a new mayor this week, 34-year-old left-leaning Democrat Zohran Mamdani. He'll be the city's first Muslim mayor and the youngest in a century. Mamdani beat the Republican candidate, Curtis Sliwa, and the former governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo.
The sun may have set over our city this evening, but as Eugene Debs once said, I can see the dawn of a better day for humanity.
The world's richest man, Elon Musk, was this week awarded a pay packet that could be worth nearly $1 trillion. Shareholders at Tesla approved the record deal for the firm's founder, but it's conditional on Elon Musk hitting ambitious targets. City AM's editor Christian May says they won't be easy to reach.
He has to take the value of Tesla from $1.5 trillion today to $8.5 trillion in value by 2035. And he must sell tens of millions of vehicles and deploy 1 million robo-taxis and all sorts of new metrics.
Former US President Dick Cheney died this week at the age of 84. He was widely seen as the architect of George W. Bush's war on terror following the 9/11 attacks in 2001. Israeli aircraft bombed several towns in southern Lebanon on Thursday as Israel threatened wider strikes unless Hezbollah is disarmed. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN. Russia's President Vladimir Putin summoned members of the country's Security Council this week to discuss options of possibly resuming nuclear weapons tests. It would be the first such move by Moscow since the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. It comes after US President Donald Trump suggested that the US would restart its own atomic tests. Ever since Daria Bundarchuk sent this report from Moscow.
Vladimir Putin gathered top officials for a Security Council meeting, instructing them to draft proposals on restarting nuclear weapons tests, a practice Russia has abandoned since 1991. The Kremlin spokesman later clarified that no deadline had been set and that Russia will act only after fully understanding U.S. intentions. Putin's directive comes days after U.S. President Donald Trump's announcement that the U.S. would resume its nuclear testing program. Russia has recently conducted tests of nuclear-capable delivery systems, including the Burevestnik cruise missile and the nuclear-powered Poseidon super torpedo. Daria Bondarchuk, Moscow.
The Chinese fast fashion giant Shein says it will collaborate with a French inquiry into the selling of childlike sex dolls on its website. The controversy came just a day before Shein this week opened its new flagship store in Paris, from where FSN's Ross Cullen sent this report.
The Asian e-commerce giant pledged on Tuesday to cooperate fully with judicial authorities after French prosecutors opened an investigation over the sale of childlike sex dolls on the platform and also rival online retailers AliExpress, Temu and Wish. The investigation is for distributing, quote, messages that are violent, pornographic and accessible to minors. Shein's spokesman in France said the company was prepared to share the names of those who have bought the products, adding that the purchase of the childlike dolls was serious, unacceptable and intolerable. And there have already been demonstrations against Shein outside the location in the centre of the French capital.
And that's the Week in Review. That's Feature Story News. Nick Harper reporting.
Frustrated Superman fans told reporters Monday that the economically healthy and financially stable Daily Planet newspaper is now the most unrealistic aspect of the comic books universe. Acknowledging that enjoying the adventures of a superhero that can fly, lift cars over his head, and shoot beams of light out of his eyes requires some suspension of disbelief, longtime readers said even the comic's most exciting stories are regularly ruined by the implausibility of a thriving daily newspaper, whose advertising revenue and circulation numbers have not at all been threatened by a media landscape overtaken by laptops, smartphones, and aggregation websites.
Look, I could play along with Superman using his breath to freeze a volcano or clapping his hands together to cause some sort of sonic boom, but seeing images of a thriving Daily Planet newsroom not facing layoffs or dwindling home subscriptions just really takes me out of the story. No one in Metropolis has realized they could get news online faster and for free?
This is the Onion News Network.
Don't miss a moment of Free Talk Live. Get our archives daily via our podcast at feeds.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. Talk radio you control. Give us a call, 603-283-6160. You can get your thoughts and opinions on the air. Free Talk Live is brought to you by LibertyMinded.com. Official Free Talk Live gear like t-shirts and hoodies are available at LibertyMinded.com. Plus, you'll find a unique collection of cool and funny, liberty-oriented clothing at LibertyMinded.com. That's LibertyMinded.com. In the studio tonight, it's Stu.
Kahuna.
And Richie Rich.
Richie Rich. Do
the
you
one
have
and only.
I hear rumor that you may have a number 2 story.
Oh, when was the last time we did a number 2 story?
It's been too long.
It's been too long. The women are gone. It's just us boys here. We can talk about this.
You know what's better sometimes when you have a number 2 story and you just tease it and then you go to the phones?
Oh, do it. Cool. I love that.
Unscreened caller, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yes, this is Sarah from New Mexico.
Hi, Sarah.
Our number 2 caller.
I don't know. Just I do better on the second time when I go back.
That's okay.
So
Everybody
anyways,
needs a number 2 caller.
Yep.
Well, you know what? The thing is, so we're going to have a runoff, and it's a lot simpler to think now. You don't have to think much. It's eeny, meeny. It's either the one or the other one.
Is that how you're picking politicians in New Mexico? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Well, you know, that's what it comes down to. And so my question was, the vote got split up 6 different ways. Mm-hmm. So my question is, like, who is going to show up for what? That's what I'm questioning. So
I don't know what that means. You mean who's going to show up to vote again in the runoff?
Do you mean
Right,
because there were 6 candidates before, now there's only 2, so they're thinking maybe the other 4, the ones who voted for the other 4, just aren't going to show up?
Or if they do come back, they're supposed to align with a Democrat. Supposedly Mei Ling, she was Democrat. She got like 6%. Sanchez he got 7%.
Yeah, to lock them in a room like the Libertarians.
So, just
no one leaves until
I have
we
to
have our
admit that I'm not fully up to speed on this particular race. So, are these alternative parties candidates, or are these all different parties, or the same party? What are we talking about?
Okay, so in the city elections, there's no partisan, but everybody knows.
They just put the name on the ballot.
Oh, okay. No parties.
Nothing like that.
Okay.
So what happened is somebody needs to get a 50% majority to prevent a runoff election.
Plurality, right?
Yeah. So it was between Tim Keller and Darren White.
They placed 1 and 2.
You have to get 51% to win the first time. But one got 37 and the other one got 31. So now,
this says 36 and 19, but anyways.
No, not the 19. 19 is a third runner-up. The second one was 31%, the Republican.
Oh, 36 and 31 is what it says. I read that wrong.
So wait, there are parties.
It's just not on the ballot.
Well,
okay.
Well, I mean, they don't declare it. It's not declared, but everybody knows who they are.
Okay, so he's
on the campaign trail wearing a MAGA hat.
Yeah,
you can
I mean,
make your own inference.
Even though it's not printed on the ballot, if you're paying any kind of attention, you know sort of who's who.
It's a big leap.
Well,
yeah.
So
That's true. Yeah, yes.
Well, Darren White is the top Republican, and then Tim Keller was a top Democrat. But, they polled 500 people, and it was pretty much the same. The first was going to be Tim Keller. Second was Darren White. Third was Ubayas. And the fourth was Ken Sanchez.
Okay.
But we had like 150,000 people vote for like 4 weeks to come out with the same result.
You mean pre-voting? Or whatever they call
it? Polling, they surveyed.
The exit polling.
Yeah, right. The survey, and it's kind of like a guesstimate.
Yeah, but,
so if they have a strong enough opinion one way or the other, then they just skip the voting part, is what they do?
No.
I'm confused.
That would save us like $3 million. How much would it cost to run the election? They have to open up.
No, like Pew Research. You guys are familiar with Pew Research, right? They're the ones that do the phone calls for the big elections. No? Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah. Okay.
The surveys, they surveyed. So my whole point was kind of silly. They already told us the first top runner-off is going to be the top Democrat, top Republican.
Yeah.
And then they spent 4 weeks, about $2.5 million or whatever, and they're going to spend $500,000 to just the runoff.
Yeah.
Well, that's what politics is all about. I mean, it's all about the money. So we shouldn't be surprised by that. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, it sounds like you're pretty angry about it. So I don't disagree with you about that. But, I mean, this is not really a surprise.
I'm also looking at Stu, and he's got a shirt on that says "Don't trust, verify."
Yeah.
Right. So, like, you can do all the polling and surveys you want, and then you hold the election to find out how accurate that was.
And plus, it's. I mean, my opinion, and I think it's been shown. I mean, the pollsters, there are few, if any, that are truly independent. So it depends on the sampling size, who they sample, if they ask a question, how they ask it. They can tilt the results one way or the other based on the organization that runs it.
Right.
So,
and then there's the try-hard voter that will be like, well, he's going to win. I'm going to vote for him.
Yeah. Or the other person that I don't like is going to win. I'm going to stay home because they're ahead by a mile. My vote doesn't matter.
Right.
This sort of thing. I mean, there's so much gaming of these elections, in my opinion, for this is just one of many reasons.
And if that doesn't work, they just outright rig them.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, you know what I think is that all the other Democratic votes that got split up, the one that got 7%, the other one got 6%, the other one got 1%, And then there was a person, Mr. Chavez, he dropped out, and 1,300 people voted for him because they were too stupid to know that he got canceled out.
No, I mean that's what sometimes they call a protest vote or whatever. You know, they're gonna vote anyway, even if the guy in this case drops out, because you know I'll be you know I'm not gonna just throw my vote away and vote for somebody else just because he decided to drop out. That's who I wanted. That's who I'm voting for.
He dropped out before election day and still appeared on the ballot.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like people who vote for it's like people who do write-in votes for like Mickey Mouse or dead people.
Yeah,
or a cat.
Yeah,
cat wins sometimes. Though.
Cat wins sometimes. I like that. Would you be in favor of a cat for mayor in Albuquerque?
Depends on what kind of cat.
But see, the dumb voters here, they voted for him because they thought he was still right. I don't think it was a calculated protest vote. These people are too stupid. They don't know who that person is. They think they're still.
I think anybody who's thought deeply about it isn't really still voting.
I mean, you don't know they're stupid. I mean, they could be very smart, and that's just their decision to do it.
It's also irrelevant. There's like 1% wasn't going to swing the vote. There's going to be a runoff anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but I just think why they can't admit it. I don't know, as sophisticated, but once they type up the ballot, it's set in stone, and they can't drop the name out. 1 week before, I don't.
They just said it got 1%. Like even if they omit it, it's not going to change the outcome, and you're still going to end up. Yeah, you're still going to end up with a runoff.
You'd still end up with a runoff.
I mean, the thing is, let's say hypothetical. Let's say you did that, then you get complaints for people who say, "Well, why did you admit it? You know, like why are you forcing me to vote for like these very limited choices?" You're going to get some of that.
Sure.
I don't know, but you guys. So the New Mexico law is if you have an exact tie, let's say 20,000 people for one, 20,000 people vote for that. Exactly, they do a recount and it's still the same. They're gonna do a coin toss.
I was gonna joke about it. I said, what do they do? Flip a coin? I'm down for that. I either that or arm wrestling. You know, one of those two.
High card, low card.
Rock, paper, scissors.
I was laughing about it. I mean, I was thinking, like,
ball never lies. Doing free throws.
A bunch of other states do the same. I was baffled. I was like, we're not the only state that have these rules from 100 years ago.
They do that. They do that in pro football. Okay, they have like 16 different tiebreakers, and then if you exhaust all those, you know what the last one is? Coin toss. So we have precedents for this. I support it. I mean,
yeah, but I'm talking about for elections.
I feel like pro football's moving away from it because of the statistics behind it, right? If you win the coin toss in overtime, you have like such a greater chance of winning the game than when we got to fix this.
Okay, yeah, you're not wrong.
It happens.
Here's my question: all the votes that got split up by default, are they going to get consolidated?
No, they're going to have another vote.
No,
they're going to have a vote with only 2 names on the ballot, and then the winner of that's going to win.
Yeah, but who's going to get behind all the people that voted for the other ones? They're
going to have to pick between the two,
you know,
or not at all.
Somebody could change their mind. You know, they could say, I don't know what I was thinking. You know, I was out late the prior night. I was out singing karaoke. I had like 6 vodka tonics. I mean, and I voted the wrong way, and I have a second shot at this.
I joked about it earlier. You know, the libertarian is locking them in a room, right? But the last libertarian election for the libertarian candidate, right, like that Chase Oliver won, he was in second place in like every round until the last round, right? Like he was not the pick. He was in second place as they did all the eliminations. And then as all the other people consolidated against the guy who was number 1, that's what pushed Chase Oliver over the top.
And you're also going to get, obviously, a different data set. You're going to get a lot of people who voted the first time are still going to vote the second time or the third time or whatever. Some of those people are going to say, no, I'm not going out. My dude didn't win. Some people are going to get motivated to say, oh, look, I have a shot here now. It's a 50-50 basically, and my vote really matters, and I'm going to go out. So, you know, it could move the needle either way, obviously, and that's why they do it.
I don't like this guy, but I really don't like this guy. So now I have to go vote because my candidate wasn't in the runoff.
Yeah, the enemy of your enemy is your friend.
Right. So, it's kind of interesting. it's really the whole, like, the question mark is like, who is going to really turn out the second round?
We'll see.
You know?
I got to believe there's statistics on this, in various races over, whether it's national or state or local.
Yeah, just percentages
where
of people.
they have stats on what happens when they have these, where they don't get the plurality, and they got to go through multiple rounds or whatever. There's got to be stats on it, very data driven.
100,000 people vote in the first round, and only 60 people show up for the runoff. 60,000 show up for the runoff. Yeah, they've got counts somewhere. What's that, Sarah?
I noticed that. Yeah, the second runoff, the numbers dropped. They just gave up. They just wore out and beat up. I already voted once. I'm done.
Yep. That'll happen.
It's the people. But I do talk to people that just wait. I'm just waiting for the runoff. I'm going to just come out at the end where it counts. They don't vote.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do those cancel out? Do they balance each other out? Who knows?
Who are you voting for, out of curiosity? Keller?
Well, I mean, it's stuff. Okay, I will give you a clue. I want somebody that takes care of the homeless, building all the homeless shelters.
Rhymes a Yeller.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. According to this article, he's the less Trumpy of the two.
Okay.
And
so we can infer from Sarah's previous calls that it's likely her vote.
And Darren White has been mayor for 2 terms already. So
has he been a good mayor? Has White been a good mayor? Has White been a good mayor?
Keller was a mayor, and Darren White is the Trump ally. He's kind of like satellite Trump. So think about that.
Yeah,
I will.
Well, I mean,
I'm gonna go to my room and think about it.
Does he do the same dance and stuff like the YMCA?
Well, he's really big on rounding up the illegals. Like the way he kind of has that kind of a tone, and the way that he solves the homeless problem is treat them like dirt. There's no place to stay, so they got to leave. That's a simple solution. Close down all the homeless shelter. They don't want to go to the shitty shelter.
Whoa!
Uh-oh.
That's where it's due.
I thought she said city shelter, but
well,
either way.
Okay,
I heard the essay.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway,
Well-
really bad. They want to provide no service or hardly no service or prison service, and they get them run out. So that is the opposition.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think what you're going to get there in the end, and thanks for the call tonight, sir, is just more crappy local government.
Yeah.
Albuquerque's kind of a cesspool, and it's sort of set up by the moneyed interests in that
Yeah,
area.
you're going to pay a lot of money to get that crappy result, just like most other places.
Mm-hmm. I can't imagine spending all the time and effort on something.
Electoral politics in general.
Poor Sarah. Okay, let's do the number 2 story, shall we?
Speaking of number 2, Delta passenger trapped by human biohazard seatmate who pooped his pants.
Oh no. Was somebody in the window seat?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh no.
Like it was, we'll get into it, but just, they had like the non-aisle seat, and then they put a disabled dude into the aisle seat who was, had a thing.
He's the dude that had an issue.
Had the issue. Delta Airlines passenger made a stink, get it, about a recent flight after being stuck sitting next to an older traveler who had an accident and left literal poop smears on the seat.
Gross.
Yep. The flyer shared their smelly story on Reddit. Oh, this is from the Toronto Sun, so also reputable. Detailing how they assumed the direct flight from Florida LAX would be smooth sailing before cursing themselves for their naivete. Titled 5.5-hour flight next to human biohazard, the passenger recounted how an older gentleman on his own boarded the plane with the assistance of airline workers and sat down next to them. The moment he sat down, I knew I was SOL, the Redditor wrote ominously. Turns out he had some serious mobility issues, which meant I was effectively window seat prisoner for 5.5 hours. Now that I could get behind. Like, I don't like, I as much as I enjoy maybe looking out the window occasionally, I'm an aisle seat guy generally.
Mm-hmm.
And more specifically now because of my previous leg injury, I like to have the aisle seat where I can extend my leg into the aisle because I can't keep it bent and cramped up for the whole thing.
Yep.
But I also like if someone needs to get out, like I can get up and move, right? So easier. But, you know, nor could I sit for 5.5 hours and not be able to get up and stretch or use the restroom or anything like that. Like, come on. They noted colorfully how flight attendants would check on their seatmate and assess the situation. Every breath was a gamble.
A little dramatic, you know? I mean...
This makes it a fun number 2 story.
Yeah, I mean...
That is the part of it that I'd have a harder time with. I could sit in the seat for 5.5 hours.
The smell?
But not next to somebody's feces.
The traveler... Go ahead.
I mean, I feel for the dude that had the issue because I'm sure he didn't get on the plane like planning to do that, or hopefully he didn't.
Yes.
And
there were some that do, though.
Oh, you think so? You think some that on purpose do it?
Well, I mean, there have been similar articles of people like, you know, pooping down the aisle, right, for whatever reason.
But yeah, on purpose?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, so that's probably like a fetish or something. But this doesn't sound like that, though. This
is
just
old dude.
Yeah, this just sounds like a dude who, you know, he had a problem, right?
Right.
And so I kind of feel for him because, hey, it happens, right?
But I mean, they make adult diapers.
Yeah.
Which clearly he wasn't wearing if it got on the seat, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but
or
I don't know how well those things
or maybe
work.
just it was really bad. He even went through the diaper.
If he's not if he's not incontinent to the point where he needs the adult diaper, right? Like hit the buzzer to get your flight attendant to assist you into the bathroom.
Yep.
Right. You don't have to just sit there. You're not a toddler. You don't have to sit there and just do it.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
Every breath was a gamble. The traveler noted how upon landing, their seatmate immediately stood up against instructions, naturally, and that's when the true horror revealed itself. The Redditor recalled there were literal poops smears on the seat, and on him, I had spent an entire cross-country flight marinating in that odor.
Yep.
They continued as I stumbled off the plane in shock. One of the flight attendants said, "I am so sorry you had to deal with that. Why didn't you ask for a mask? Lady, I needed an exorcism." That's the other thing, right? Once it happens, if it's not a fully booked flight, right? Like, hey, I'm gonna, we got to move me, at least me, right? You can leave him in his poop stain, but like you have to get him up, move in one direction so that I can get out, and then that happened. That similar thing happened once when I got arrested. Right? They put me in a cell with like some older dude who's probably inebriated or whatever, and there was urine all over the floor. And I'm like, "Hey, dude, you got to move me. Like, I can't. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable quarters for my stay here tonight." And he looked around. He saw the guys like, "Yeah, you're right. Let's go." So I got a clean cell to spend the night in.
So you're telling me that jail was more accommodating than Delta?
Yes. But I also stood up for myself, right? Like this guy just sat there and took it.
Yeah.
Right. I went, "Hey, I can't sleep in this."
He got what he deserved.
The slippers you provided me aren't going to be sufficient to walk through this all night.
The guy didn't even ask to be moved?
It doesn't appear that way. He just sat there and marinated in the odor.
The thing is, we don't have all the details either, right? Like it could have been a full flight. There could have been no other seats.
Right.
We don't know this.
Is there one open in first class, madam?
Yes.
Right? It's time for me to get an upgrade. Because you're not going to put him smear butt in the first class seat either.
That's right.
Yeah, they're gonna those folks up there are gonna be even less
accommodating. Yeah. Paid $1,200 to sit next to poop stain. Delta apologized to the passenger with the flight attendants offering to give them 5,000 airline miles, which they said was nice, not enough. Honestly, I think I deserve therapy and several showers. In a screenshot of the airline's heartfelt apology, it offered the passenger the free miles as compensation. At Delta, we take pride in delivering an exceptional experience, providing reliable and thoughtful service at every moment of your travel journey, it noted. On your recent trip with us, we didn't live up to that commitment, and we want you to know we're sorry, the apology continued.
So here, fly with us again, and maybe the same thing will happen to you, and we won't do anything about it again.
You never know. Well, again, the dude's not entirely, entirely not responsible for this. Right, as noted, he didn't say anything. He didn't do anything about it.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta.
Some of this is on you for not speaking up.
Yeah.
If I don't advocate for me, who will?
Have you ever spent an entire flight next to somebody who pooped their pants? Give us a call. The phone number here is 603-283-6160. This is Free Talk Live.
Hey, you are going to love the movie Victimless Crime Spree. It's hilarious, heartwarming, and carries a ton of inspiring freedom messages. Feeling down about the lack of liberty in your life? You need to put on this film with some friends and have a good laugh. It's a true story about me and my friends in New Hampshire living free, singing, dancing, and getting arrested. Of course, it's all on video, and the bad guys, the cops, judges, bailiffs, and sheriffs, they all play their part like it's out of a movie or something. You would think we scripted the whole thing, but it's real life. Go ahead and have a watch, and if it's been a while, have another look. I guarantee you'll notice things now that you didn't notice before. And the best part is that you're going to walk away feeling a renewed sense of your own power. You are the master of your destiny, and you will be free in your lifetime. Victimless Crime Spree.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Nick Harper with the Week in Review. This week, the US government set a new record, the longest ever recorded in US history. On Friday, thousands of US domestic flights were cancelled or delayed. The White House ordered a reduction of air traffic. Trump administration officials said the move was an attempt to relieve some of the pressure on air traffic controllers. FSN's Iris Spitzer sent this report from Washington.
Air travelers in the U.S. are bracing for more disruptions from the government shutdown as Trump administration officials say they're planning to cut flights by as much as 10% on domestic routes. Meanwhile, there are reports that the Republican-controlled Senate is preparing for another vote on a stopgap spending measure on Friday, although a meeting by a group of Democratic senators on Thursday didn't yield any obvious change in position. The opposition party has demanded that Republicans extend health care subsidies that are set to expire, which GOP lawmakers have so far refused to do. At 37 days, the current shutdown is already the longest in U.S. history.
This week, the US Supreme Court appeared skeptical of President Donald Trump's power to unilaterally impose tariffs during a 3-hour hearing. The hearing at the country's highest court came after the president used a law designed for national emergencies to justify his sweeping economic agenda. New York City elected a new mayor this week, 34-year-old left-leaning Democrat Zohran Mamdani. He'll be the city's first Muslim mayor and the youngest in a century. Mamdani beat the Republican candidate, Curtis Sliwa, and the former governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo.
The sun may have set over our city this evening, but as Eugene Debs once said, I can see the dawn of a better day for humanity.
The world's richest man, Elon Musk, was this week awarded a pay packet that could be worth nearly $1 trillion. Shareholders at Tesla approved the record deal for the firm's founder, but it's conditional on Elon Musk hitting ambitious targets. City AM's editor Christian May says they won't be easy to reach.
He has to take the value of Tesla from $1.5 trillion today to $8.5 trillion in value by 2035. And he must sell tens of millions of vehicles and deploy 1 million robo-taxis and all sorts of new metrics.
Former US President Dick Cheney died this week at the age of 84. He was widely seen as the architect of George W. Bush's war on terror following the 9/11 attacks in 2001. Israeli aircraft bombed several towns in southern Lebanon on Thursday as Israel threatened wider strikes unless Hezbollah is disarmed. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
We're still not sure why you'd want to watch, but our video feed is streaming nightly for free at cam.freetalklive.com.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio you control. You could call 603-283-6160 if you'd like to get in on the conversation. I'd like to thank Timothy for being an amplifier with us here at Free Talk Live. That means that Timothy went to amps.freetalklive.com and signed up to support the show. AMPS stands for Advertise, Market, Promote, and Support. Thanks again to Timothy and everyone who supports us. Again, that's amps.freetalklive.com if you'd like to check out the perks and benefits of becoming an amplifier. In the studio tonight, it's Stu.
Kahuna.
And Richie Rich.
We just finished up our number 2 story. That was a lot of fun. Right
for
now.
us, not for that dude.
Not for that dude at all. Right now, we have a caller on the line, so we're going to go to the phones. On the screen, caller, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Good evening. It's something I need to point out. Whenever you are making any kind of political statement or message and there's a flaw in it, the people who oppose you will find the flaw in it. And even though you can ignore it, a lot of them will still see it. And, the love it or leave it types who say, well, why don't you just move to another country, ignoring the enormous hassle and the obstacles, the bureaucratic obstacles that get in the way. You can't just decide I'm going to move to Canada. They won't give you permission, and
cough,
then you
Skeeter,
wind up.
cough.
So it's not just an option because you can't. If you're going there to cut through Ontario on your way to Michigan, they'll let you go through there. But if you try working there, they'll catch you and they'll send you back to the United States, hopefully. But there's a episode that happened in the White House during a press conference, and the video is being used by Democrats to criticize Trump. A guy fainted during a news conference live on Fox News, and there's other people. The guy at the podium saw that and said, "Are you okay?" And the gentlemen who were next to him grabbed him, helped him down, helped him to lie down so he doesn't hit his head. And RFK Jr. bolted out of the room, and they're saying, well, yeah, he's only the highest-ranking medical bureaucrat in the country. How would he know what to do?
Trump kicked him in the yam bags while he was down.
But but they're saying, look, Donald Trump is just standing there not doing anything. And they're saying that it's like he doesn't give a flying duck about the guy who just fainted. But he couldn't because he was further away when it happened. And those other 3 guys helping him down, when they've got control of the situation, then you let them take care of it. And sometimes the best thing you can do is just stay out of the way.
Yeah, but the optics is a few years ago when that chick fainted and Barack Obama was on stage. He caught her and held her and caressed her a little bit. It's like, you okay, honey? I got you. Daddy Barack is here. Right? Like that's the competing video of what happens when someone faints on stage. You've got Daddy Barack and like nonchalant Trump letting him fall and hit the ground.
Yeah, but it's the flaw. You see, the pro-Trumpers, the MAGA maggots, will say, and it's true, well, he couldn't. He wasn't right there close enough to help grab the guy and let him down. And those other people have already taken care of the situation. He finally realizes he's not a doctor, like during the COVID pandemic when he was pushing hydrochloroquine as a way to stop COVID.
Or drinking bleach.
He's staying away.
That doesn't work.
I was at a campaign event one time.
Blow right by it.
Marco Rubio was up on the stage, and this guy, 18-year-old man, walking by, and he starts losing his strength. When you're at these events, you're packed like sardines into this area, and you're standing there for like an hour waiting for the candidate, and then there's jokes about hot air from the going into the microphone, but he starts losing his strength, and the young lady with him didn't look like she was big, strong enough, so I grabbed his other arm and helped him down, and I shouted, somebody just fainted here, and so they took a break. It's bad optics to keep right on going, business as usual when somebody faints. So, but the fire department was right there too. So one of the firefighters walked up, and they got this. So there's nothing else I could do. But there really wasn't anything Donald Trump could have done because he wasn't right there. Those other people already took care of it.
Sure. So now Trump is going to stage another one with someone fading closer to him, so he can be the hero.
Yeah, I mean, this is all theatrics, depending on the side, and it's also a tilt by the media, obviously. I mean, I think we know, like the mainstream media. I think we know what the tilt is in general. So this is not surprising to me, at least.
What's the tilt? Which way is the mainstream media tilting?
Anti-Trump.
Well, they're pro-division. Is what
pro-division, but specifically candidates anti-Trump for sure.
Now, the fun part is when I say that a choice between Trump and Biden is like having a choice between going to the electric chair or the gas chamber. Why didn't they vote for Oliver? And you get the morons saying, Oliver who? You know, I mean, if you call Trump by his last name and you call Biden by his last name, you don't have to say Joseph Robinette Biden, comma, the Democratic candidate. You just say Biden, and that means that guy. So why do you have to explain who Oliver is? You know,
because he's a much lesser known candidate.
Yeah, I didn't even hear the guy's name until
it's too late to vote for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the thing is, if they call Trump, they should call Oliver, and it's their own fault if they never heard of him, because that means they did not go to the Project Vote Smart website and learn about all the candidates. And so this is why campaign money is of such great value. Why should rich people with lots of money be able to influence elections when all the people have to do is learn about all the candidates? Well, you still need
the Libertarian Party is not completely innocent in this either, because it's part of their I guess rules of order or procedures to wait forever to have their delegation or whatever to elect their party member. So by the time you find out who the Libertarian Party is, the Republican the candidate is, the Republicans and the Democrats have been running ads on mainstream media television and radio for like 2 years.
Yep.
Like they know well ahead of time who the front runners are, and the Libertarians go like 2 months before the election, we'll tell you who our guy is, and they've got no chance to compete.
And they're always complaining when the Republicans try to block the Libertarians from getting on the ballot because they don't like the Libertarians, and so they're using ballot access as a way to stop Libertarian candidates. Well, then in 2018, when I ran for Congress as a Libertarian against Justin O'Donnell, and they like him, and Free Talk Live host and former Libertarian Party of New Hampshire chairman Darrell W. Perry filed with the Ballot Law Commission to try to have my name kicked off the ballot on the grounds that the Libertarian Party expelled me for being too libertarian back in 1993.
There's no fight that the Libertarians fight harder than the infighting.
Yeah, so actually, and Justin O'Donnell did not defeat me. The people who voted for him did the defeating. It's not like he and I were playing chess and I lose, he defeats me. The voters over whom I have no control defeated me, but that's okay. I didn't run a negative campaign against him. I ran a positive campaign for me. But
do you think you could beat him at chess?
I don't know, but if you look at the candidates, they say, "Oh well, you lost the election," as if somehow what were you supposed to do? Follow the voters into the voting booth with a knife to their throat or a gun to their head? I mean, you're talking about a country that's overrun with crazy, deranged, depraved, degenerate, selfish, greedy potholes who don't give a flying duck about somebody else's rights. And how are you supposed to shut off their crazy switch, their stupid switch, and their wicked switch so that you can persuade them? It's the action-verb fallacy, I call it. You're supposed to persuade them. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to, they shut off their crazy switch, their stupid switch, and their wicked switch and start following good, sound, logical reasoning and agreeing that the borders have to be open.
Well, there's a mistake right there.
Yep.
Well,
you don't appeal to logic. You appeal to emotion. Another libertarian fallacy for victory.
Abolitionists ran
Agreed.
into the same problem, trying to reason with a bunch of crazy, deranged punks who didn't give a flying duck about the unalienable rights of darker-skinned people born with darker skin. The slave drivers convinced themselves that they were somehow superior to people born with darker colored skin, just like a lot of maggots have convinced themselves that they're superior to people born outside some lines on the map. And they don't give a fire truck about the plight of billions of God's children living in registered world poverty. So,
I'm gonna write some of these down though. They're pretty good.
Okay,
Flying
you
duck,
you
fire
wrote
truck.
that down?
What else did you get?
Fire truck.
Yeah.
And flying duck.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm writing these down, by the way.
Yeah, okay. And
No, he's not.
yeah. Okay.
Anything else, Tom?
Nope, I think he left us.
All right.
That was a decent call. It is very much all theatrics though, and yeah, man. Like,
well, yeah, but on this particular issue, the Democrats have the better optics.
They do,
because they waltz out the Barack Obama one, and that's it. You lose, right? Trump's over there like, I don't know what to do, and Barack's all like, oh, I'm caring, I'm nurturing, right? I got you, just like I've got the country in my arms. Right? And Trump just watches a dude falling like, this is what we're looking at here. This is the comp that we have. How often does someone fall on stage while the president is up there? Doesn't happen frequently. These are the two. Who would you rather have on stage? Clearly the answer is Barack Obama. Because he's got you. And he speaks in complete sentences.
yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine a world where I'm on a stage with anybody like that.
Question is, if you were, would you catch him? Right? Like, I don't like calling 911, but at one point in time, like I was with my grandfather, and we were walking back from the grocery store, and then he just like paused, looked like the lights went out for a second, and he collapsed to his knees. I'm like, what do you want to do, old man? You know, like what's going on here? Is this normal? Right? And so I called the ambulance, and I was on the phone with the ambulance. He popped right back up and said, let's go. And I'm like, all right, called off the ambulance and finished my walk home. But I didn't catch him. Right? He just kind of like collapsed on his own.
Yeah.
Helped him up when he was ready, but still.
Yeah, I don't think the catch is, I don't know, indicative of how much you care necessarily.
Unless it's caught on camera on the world stage.
People definitely going to form an opinion
about
everything caught on camera, especially about Trump.
Great thing is you'll get one more chance to vote against him. Trump third term joke? No? All right. Moving on.
I mean, I don't know. I thought he said that voting would be unnecessary if the Christians got him in one more time, then they wouldn't have to worry about having to vote anymore.
They'll just declare it.
Yeah.
We're closing elections.
So we'll see if that comes to fruition or not.
It'll make all the anti-No Kings protest people take a second look. I thought you said no kings. Now what? Unelected third term.
A king would be better than what we have now, anyways. But
yeah, all right.
Nah, at least not worse.
I've heard the libertarian,
and I would care just about the same amount.
I've heard the libertarian argument for monarchy, and like, all right, I get it.
Yeah,
whatever.
Who knows how it would play out?
You only got one head to cut off. All right,
but it would have to be like strict monarchy, not a parliamentary monarchy such as you have set up in almost all the existent monarchies, right?
Yeah.
Because that obfuscates where you point the finger, right? The only benefit to having a monarchy is everybody points the finger at the same place.
Yes.
So.
And I like say what you want, but I like the French response, right? When their monarchs get out of control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, we're just gonna have another revolution. We're gonna cut a few heads off, and we'll try this again.
I don't think that's the best way to do it, but it is it is a way of doing it.
So it's only not the best way in their situation, because generally they're asking for more socialist policies from the monarchy, right? Like they're not cutting heads off for more freedom. They're cutting heads off because they're not getting enough free stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I don't imagine that going any differently anywhere on the planet at this point.
Well, if you're doing it for freedom.
If heads I don't know. Heads cutting off for freedom? I don't know that there's a precedent for that, and I have very little hope that would come to would be a reality.
Not in the political sphere necessarily, right? But like the Mexican drug cartels, this is always my favorite example. You know, there's a new sheriff in town, new police chief. I'm going to crack down on the cartels. And they cut his head off. They string it up. They kill his whole family. And the new police chief comes in and is like, I saw what you did to the last guy. I'm going to crack down on all these cartels. And they do the exact same thing. And pretty soon, like, there's no police chief. Like, nobody wants the job because they see the result of having the job.
Right.
So, like the founder said, right, the price of liberty is eternal vigilance. You got to keep doing it. Once you stop, someone's going to rise, and they're going to be in control.
Vigilance went out the door a long time ago.
I get it. Like, let's bring that back if we're going to be talking about liberty.
Hey, I'm in favor of that.
Can't just let one head roll. Like everyone who usurps the throne, right?
Yeah, I don't even necessarily know that it needs to be heads. You just got to not let these people do what they do anymore.
Well, okay, like metaphorically then, how would you stop them? Right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, there's a power vacuum. Someone's going to fill it. Like, no, that's the eternal vigilance part. Like, you maintain the vacuum.
Yeah.
You guard the vacuum diligently and vigilantly for all eternity so that anyone who tries to fill it, right, falls through and is not allowed to fill it.
Or you got to restructure it so the vacuums are completely different.
I think the vacuum would shrink over time. Right? Again, the more you do it, the less likely people are going to want to try to fill it.
Yeah, that's because vigilance is always ever fleeting. Right?
Yes, that's the problem. That's the entire problem with like fighting for liberty and freedom is the commitment level to maintain it is generational.
Let's see. You got something else you wanted to get into?
Yeah, whatever. Speaking of Trump, the fattest president ever says U.S. visas can now be denied to fat people from now on.
Is he the fattest?
I don't know.
I don't think he is, but he is pretty fat.
He's a pretty big dude.
Yeah.
For all the health crackdowns, right? Like the dude at the top not leading by example.
Maha.
Sure.
The whole Maha thing's a joke.
Right, or the Maha thing, but they crack down on the military generals, right, and the army people. Like, you guys got to get in shape, right? The commander in chief is Donald Trump.
Yeah,
start at the top, man.
I don't see him out there doing the obstacle course.
Let's see him do one sit-up.
Or doing push-ups and stuff.
Let's see him not mistake an Alzheimer's test for a physical, right? And then we can talk about fitness.
Yeah, that guy's had enough McDonald's.
No fat people from now on. From, where's this? NewRepublic.com. President Trump is rejecting visas for fat people. The Trump administration has ordered visa officers to deny immigrants who are obese or have certain health issues in yet another instance of the president's strange obsession with fat people. A Thursday directive from the State Department sent to embassies and consulates around the world indicates that people applying for visas to the United States may be rejected if they have certain medical conditions on the grounds that they could take up domestic health care resources. You must consider an applicant's health, the cable read. Certain medical conditions, including but not limited to cardiovascular disease, respiratory disease, cancers, diabetes, metabolic diseases, neurological diseases, and mental health conditions can require hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of care. Or just not give them care, right? Like, isn't that the whole point? Isn't that what the whole shutdown right now is basically centered around? Right? We don't want immigrants to get health care.
That's part of it, yeah.
So you don't have to deny them, right? You just don't give them government-run health care. Right?
Right, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
That would be the logical solution, yes.
Let them in, let them work, let them get their own health care or health insurance should they want. Right? The important thing is, like, let them work. That's usually the big stumbling block. These lazy immigrants don't want to work. It's like, yeah, because, you don't let them work. They get here and they're like, next barrier is how are you going to get gainfully employed legally? The announcement then goes on to mention obesity, stating that it can be connected to asthma, sleep apnea, and high blood pressure. All of these can require expensive long-term care, the cable continues. Does the applicant have adequate financial resources to cover the cost of such care over his entire expected lifespan without seeking public cash assistance or long-term institutionalization at government expense? Denying fat people from the U.S. because they might end up having health issues is incredibly broad, cruel, and unusual. Visa applicants are already subjected to health screenings for infectious diseases like tuberculosis and are required to have various vaccinations. Again, I'll jump in here. Also deny it, as a pre-existing condition for existing people on government health care and services, right? Like if they're the ones burdening the system, just eliminate that. Make them get it privately and pay premiums more commensurate with their pre-existing conditions or lifestyle choices. Right? Stu?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Taking into consideration one's diabetic history or heart health history, that's quite expensive, immigration lawyer Sophia Genovese told the Los Angeles Times. There's a degree of this assessment already, not just quite expansive as opining over. What if someone goes into diabetic shock? If this change is going to happen immediately, that's obviously going to cause a myriad of issues when people are going into their consular interviews. This announcement comes just one day after Trump announced his fat shot deal with 2 pharmaceutical companies to lower the cost of popular weight loss drugs, Ozempic and Zepbound, to around $150 per month.
There's big pharma for you right there, man. Just instead of trying to solve the root of the problem, which is, eat less and exercise more.
Well, that's the Maha approach, right? We got to get in shape, people.
Well, I mean, the alternative here with the shot is basically get hooked on this thing, because once you start taking it, and I have friends who have taken it, they've lost a ton of weight, but you are a slave to big pharma for life.
Yep.
As long as you want to stay that way and not actually do the work.
Yeah, I heard like the Ozempic rebound or the Ozempic bounce or something once you get off of it.
Yeah.
I heard there's a new one that just came out that's supposed to not have that effect. You can lose the weight, and when you quit, weight stays off.
Is that the Zepbound, or is that an entirely different one?
Nope, entirely different one.
Okay.
Out of kind of on the same, I was curious here. So I looked it up, and Trump's BMI is like, he's supposed to be keeping it as close to the line for 30, which is obese, as he can. He's like 29.5.
So
yeah. I mean, it's. I'm kind of on the fence about this one. I mean, there's a long history here, and you've named a lot of them. And I'll tell you, my mom, who passed away earlier this year, I mean, she told me the story. Now, this is over 60 years ago. She had to prove, because she came from, she was not a citizen. She came from a Scandinavian country. She had to prove that she didn't have any STDs.
Okay.
Now, maybe they don't do that anymore, but they sure as heck did that back then.
They screened her. And, she passed. But, I mean, I don't know how this list has changed over the years, but I agree. I think it's hypocritical for, like you said, the commander-in-chief to be so unhealthy looking.
Yes, unhealthy looking, sort of obsessed with it. And I don't disagree with them that we need to get healthier. I mean, I think that's a noble goal. But, you're not setting a good example, dude.
That's right.
And maybe you should start with yourself first before you try to impose it on everybody else.
Yeah. And I'll also say, in Trump's case, it's probably accurate, but I generally, BMI is not always the best indicator.
No, it's not.
When I was in like the best shape of my life, I was technically obese.
Yeah, because you're jacked and you have a lot of muscle, and that throws you up into the high BMIs.
Right. Yeah, because I'm small, but I was bulky and muscular and strong. And I go, this BMI thing's BS.
It's not necessarily always a good indicator. I agree. I think it is in the case of Trump, though.
I said, but you can't just take that for what it is. Trump also took time out Thursday's announcement to reveal exactly who was taking the weight loss drug, outlining long-term comm staffers and attack dog Stephen Chung. Where's Steve? Is he here? Head of public relations for the White House. He's taking it. That's it. End of the article.
Okay.
Nice.
Where's my guy? Oh, he fainted. All right, someone pick him up and get him out of here.
Well, that's interesting, though. Trump just waved a magic wand and lowered the price of drugs. I don't know.
Well, Biden tried to do that with insulin, right? So.
Oh, yeah, I guess these magicians can do that. Give us a call. This is Free Talk Live. The phone number here is 603-283-6160. Let us know what's on your mind. It's Free Talk Live.
This hour of Free Talk Live is brought to you by Dash Digital Cash. Dash is the cryptocurrency designed to be used for spending. In addition to being one of the world's first cryptocurrencies, Dash was the first crypto project to have a decentralized autonomous organization that to this day continues to improve and promote Dash. Every month, 10% of the mining rewards go into a treasury. Anyone with one Dash to spend can put forward a proposal to the Dash masternodes. The masternodes vet the proposals and decide which ones move forward and are funded by that treasury. Nowadays, DAOs are plentiful, but Dash paved the way by doing it first, nearly a decade ago. Dash is one of the oldest cryptocurrencies and is widely available on exchanges, including the decentralized Maya protocol, and in multi-crypto wallets. It's easy to get and use Dash. Start by learning more at dash.org. Thanks to the Dash DAO for sending us 32 Dash per month to promote Dash on the air. Visit dash.org to learn about Dash. Dash.org. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Nick Harper with the Week in Review. This week, the US government set a new record, the longest ever recorded in US history. On Friday, thousands of US domestic flights were cancelled or delayed. The White House ordered a reduction of air traffic. Trump administration officials said the move was an attempt to relieve some of the pressure on air traffic controllers. FSN's Ira Spitzer sent this report from Washington.
Air travelers in the U.S. are bracing for more disruptions from the government shutdown as Trump administration officials say they're planning to cut flights by as much as 10% on domestic routes. Meanwhile, there are reports that the Republican-controlled Senate is preparing for another vote on a stopgap spending measure on Friday, although a meeting by a group of Democratic senators on Thursday didn't yield any obvious change in position. The opposition party has demanded that Republicans extend health care subsidies that are set to expire, which GOP lawmakers have so far refused to do. At 37 days, the current shutdown is already the longest in U.S. history.
This week, the US Supreme Court appeared skeptical of President Donald Trump's power to unilaterally impose tariffs during a 3-hour hearing. The hearing at the country's highest court came after the president used a law designed for national emergencies to justify his sweeping economic agenda. New York City elected a new mayor this week, 34-year-old left-leaning Democrat Zohran Mamdani. He'll be the city's first Muslim mayor and the youngest in a century. Mamdani beat the Republican candidate, Curtis Sliwa, and the former governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo.
The sun may have set over our city this evening, but as Eugene Debs once said, I can see the dawn of a better day for humanity.
The world's richest man, Elon Musk, was this week awarded a pay packet that could be worth nearly $1 trillion. Shareholders at Tesla approved the record deal for the firm's founder, but it's conditional on Elon Musk hitting ambitious targets. City AM's editor Christian May says they won't be easy to reach.
He has to take the value of Tesla from $1.5 trillion today to $8.5 trillion in value by 2035. And he must sell tens of millions of vehicles and deploy 1 million robo-taxis and all sorts of new metrics.
Former US President Dick Cheney died this week at the age of 84. He was widely seen as the architect of George W. Bush's war on terror following the 9/11 attacks in 2001. Israeli aircraft bombed several towns in southern Lebanon on Thursday as Israel threatened wider strikes unless Hezbollah is disarmed. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN. Russia's President Vladimir Putin summoned members of the country's Security Council this week to discuss options of possibly resuming nuclear weapons tests. It would be the first such move by Moscow since the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991. It comes after US President Donald Trump suggested that the US would restart its own atomic tests. Ever since Daria Bundarchuk sent this report from Moscow.
Vladimir Putin gathered top officials for a Security Council meeting, instructing them to draft proposals on restarting nuclear weapons tests, a practice Russia has abandoned since 1991. The Kremlin spokesman later clarified that no deadline had been set and that Russia will act only after fully understanding U.S. intentions. Putin's directive comes days after U.S. President Donald Trump's announcement that the U.S. would resume its nuclear testing program. Russia has recently conducted tests of nuclear-capable delivery systems, including the Burevestnik cruise missile and the nuclear-powered Poseidon super torpedo. Daria Bondarchuk, Moscow.
The Chinese fast fashion giant Shein says it will collaborate with a French inquiry into the selling of childlike sex dolls on its website. The controversy came just a day before Shein this week opened its new flagship store in Paris, from where FSN's Ross Cullen sent this report.
The Asian e-commerce giant pledged on Tuesday to cooperate fully with judicial authorities after French prosecutors opened an investigation over the sale of childlike sex dolls on the platform and also rival online retailers AliExpress, Temu and Wish. The investigation is for distributing, quote, messages that are violent, pornographic and accessible to minors. Shein's spokesman in France said the company was prepared to share the names of those who have bought the products, adding that the purchase of the childlike dolls was serious, unacceptable and intolerable. And there have already been demonstrations against Shein outside the location in the centre of the French capital.
And that's the Week in Review. That's Feature Story News. Nick Harper reporting.
In local news, 23-year-old graffiti artist Adam Zane has captured the heart of 19-year-old college sophomore Jessica Tisselow. Zane, who goes by the graffiti handle Slice, met Tisselow last summer at an annoyingly self-aware dive bar where the talentless artist caught Tisselow's eye with his cliched sleeve tattoos of trite Japanese imagery and the fact that he was wearing a winter hat indoors in the middle of June.
His art is really just the absolute worst. I think we're going to get married someday.
And now for This Week in Tech, brought to you by LG. An excited groom sends text messages to his buddies during his bride's vows, and a collection of VHS tapes are held onto for one more year. In other news, a burglar makes sure to crack the glass on a family portrait before leaving. There's nothing in the employee handbook about groping dead co-workers, an employee says, and a report finds that nobody's heard from David Blaine in a while, so somebody should probably check to see if he died in one of those things. Mere seconds have passed, yet we feel as though we've known you 1,000 lifetimes. For more, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
This is the Onion News Network.
You can help spread the ideas of liberty with our Patreon for just $5 per month at amps.freetalklive.com. Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio you control. Give us a call, 603-283-6160. Get your thoughts and ideas on the air. In the studio tonight, it's Stu,
Kahuna,
and Richie Rich.
And Kahuna has a story that he brought in.
This is from the Mirror US.
Reputable news source.
Yeah. Fast food chain is offering $1 meals to SNAP recipients as government shutdown drags on.
Now I want to be on SNAP. I'm sold.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're kind of, I mean, you're from not the West Coast, but out there.
From Hawaii, for those that don't know.
Yeah. So they're not really around here too much at all, I don't think.
Carl's Jr. definitely isn't. And there's, ironically, I moved from tiny little island in Hawaii to, the mainland and New Hampshire specifically. Mm-hmm. And like the fast food offerings here pale in comparison to what I had back there.
Yep.
Yeah, slim pickings out here.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can't even hardly find a standalone Taco Bell. All of them are KFC Taco Bells.
Exactly.
Which makes ordering a nightmare because you're waiting on somebody's, 30-minute bucket of chicken to cook to get 2 burritos. And
Around here, perhaps there's 2 Taco Bells in Manchester, or 3 that I'm aware of that are standalones.
So, that's true. You have to go to Manchester.
Yes,
though.
the biggest city in the state. 3 Taco Bell, but the problem is like even there, right? It's like only the most popular ones. There's no like secondary chains. So I got Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's.
Yeah,
and that's about it. You know. Oh yeah, Subway's number 1 overall for fast food for locations.
I quit going to Subway years ago when my stomach told me, hey, you're eating the same stuff that they're selling over there under those golden arches. Like, don't trick yourself into thinking this is healthy food.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it as much as the other garbage, so I just ate the other garbage.
I mean, they had Jared, who lost a lot of weight with a very specific Subway
but he
diet.
had AIDS.
What?
he had personal trainers.
Oh, okay. That kind of AIDS.
There was a South Park episode called Jared's Got AIDS, and that was the gist of it. And he was offering to give everybody else AIDS. It was quite funny.
So the article goes on to state the California founded fast food chain, I already said this, Carl's Jr. is offering $1 meal deal to those facing food insecurity due to the government shutdown. Carl's Jr. is offering a special $1 meal deal to those impacted by the government shutdown, as it is now the longest federal funding lapse in U.S. history.
Yeah, but SNAP's only been off the table for like 9 days.
True.
Right? Like the government shut down for over 30. SNAP only stopped, for the most part at the beginning of this month.
And didn't some of those, it's hard to get these details straight sometimes, but like half the SNAP benefits got funded, or the proposal was to fund half them, something like that.
There was a judge that made a decree that they had to dip into the emergency funds to fund it. Trump fought it, but said, the partial payments were going to go out.
Right.
So you're going to get some, but even that's not going to last because there's no additional funding coming in. So what they had in emergency funds would only cover half for like this month, and then next month, what are you going to do?
Right. So
get your Thanksgiving turkey now.
25% less expensive than last year, according to Trump, by the way. That Walmart basket or whatever.
Yeah. Did you see the details on that?
Yeah, it's not the same basket.
It's not the same basket. Yeah.
Anyway, for more than 5 million people rely on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, aka SNAP, across California, and the government shutdown has resulted in lapses in these grocery benefits for millions of low-income Americans nationwide. The Carl's Jr. food aid effort is led by Akash Management LLC, which is a local Carl's Jr. franchise group that owns and operates restaurants throughout Southern California.
Oh, so it's only California.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't get into it on Facebook because that's not where I choose to debate anybody anymore.
Wise choice.
Yeah. But I did have a Facebook friend post, basically, if you don't think these people should be getting their EBT, just unfriend me now because you're a piece of garbage human being and whatever, and so on and so forth. Like, I would gladly pay more of my paycheck if I knew that these people were going to get. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to click the haha button just so you know I'm laughing at you.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on, if like Carl's Jr. doing something about it, right? So corporations who want to build some goodwill amongst their customers can help these people out. Charities, food banks, she can start her own thing. And there's a donation page on the irs.gov website, right? If you want to make an additional contribution to the federal government beyond what you owe in taxes, they're more than happy to take your money. So put your money where your mouth is, and let's see the receipts.
Yeah,
that's right.
I do have a little bit of an issue with this, which I'll get into in a minute.
Okay.
The special $1 meal includes a kid's hamburger, a small fry, and a kid's drink.
Okay.
So
it's still pretty good for $1.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, right. Yeah. And I agree with that. The thing, and it's related to what we were just talking about earlier. I just wish that there would be a healthier choice. In other words, that some other organization or company would step up with a healthier choice than fast food. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I mean, you're not wrong, but you're not going to get that under $1.
Correct.
Right. That's why processed food is cheap.
Yep.
And if you go to Whole Foods for organic, locally grown, whatever, you pay a premium.
Right. But I guess my point is to the extent that an organization wants to voluntarily do this, and by voluntarily doing it, it could very well involve a subsidy on their behalf. In other words, they're going to choose to do something for the public.
Yep.
And they're either going to eliminate or maybe even have a slight loss, kind of like a Costco hot dog, right?
Yeah.
To do something to help solve an issue.
That's another thing. If you're near a Costco, you don't have to have a membership to get a dog and a soda.
Yeah.
Right. That's a meal for $1.50.
Yeah. The $1.59 or whatever it is. It's been that for 30 years or something, like forever.
Charge the tax. It's a $1.50. It's a $1.50 plus tax.
Oh, it's a $1.50.
It's always been a $1.50 plus tax.
Okay.
It's that prepared meal tax here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, 8%.
Silly nonsense.
8%. Yeah. This offer is available as a federal judge ordered the Trump administration to fully fund the food assistance program for the month of November by November 7th. That's when this article was written. California was one of more than 22 states to file a lawsuit against the administration for the, quote, unlawful refusal to fund SNAP/CalFresh benefits.
And that's a political move because Trump's the Republican in California. Like most of those 22 states, I think, were mostly Democrat run.
Yep. Carl's Jr. is only one of California's businesses to provide crucial food aid to those facing economic insecurity as a result of the shutdown.
Did that? Sorry, repeat that. Did it say that Carl's Jr. is the only one?
I think it must be.
Is not.
It must be missing a word in the article because it literally says Carl's Jr. is only one.
Okay.
Only one of California's businesses.
Okay. So the implication there are more that are also. Okay.
Yeah, it's either there are more or they missed the word the.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
All right.
This deal is only available at certain Carl's Jr. locations across LA County, Orange County, Ventura County, and the Inland Empire.
Is it limit one per customer?
While supplies last.
Like the burger joint's going to run out of burgers and fries?
They might.
They have an infinite supply.
I mean, for a you think they have an infinite supply in the back in the freezer?
Oh, infinite! It's pushing it, but they have enough.
Okay.
They have enough for a day or two.
Okay.
Right before the next supply truck comes.
Okay.
It's a freezer. You work in a restaurant. There's a walk-in with the frozen stuff. You pull the hamburgers out. You throw them on the grill. You wait for the next delivery truck to get another box. How often you go to a fast food place like, sorry, sold out?
This is true. Yeah, but how often do you go to where they have the deal for $1, right? I mean, I know back in the day that they had the dollar menu and stuff. They probably don't have it.
Plan ahead.
Yeah.
You know you're going to do the promotion. You got to overbuy some burgers and take up more freezer space, man. It's a big multinational corporation.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, the
they
Arctic
could have done
Circle
a better
back in
job
Utah
with the
used to
planning.
do, I think on Mondays it was like all-you-can-eat ranch burgers for $10 or something. And,
all right.
And
would
they never sold out.
They never sold out?
No, they always had as many ranch burgers as they could eat.
What was the most you ever ate in one sitting?
9, I think.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
All right,
and they're not huge burgers, but
bigger than a slider, or
I ate 8 Big Macs one time. If that
in one sitting,
that's more of a universal reference. Yeah, one
Okay.
sitting.
Ah, yeah.
8 Big Macs.
I wonder if Joey
that was when they did 99-cent Big Mac Mondays.
Okay.
Wonder if Joey Chestnut went like how many he could eat. Probably. Then he like his record's like 72 hot dogs in like
I have no idea.
10 minutes or something.
I know he's a world champion foodie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That won the Nathan's Famous the contest they do every year.
Yeah,
you know what I want on my? I want to order. This is the problem with mobile ordering because I don't know how to do this unless I walk into the restaurant. But I want a Big Mac with like the quarter pounder patties.
Okay, have it your way.
That's Burger King, but yeah. But I want that's what I want. But I don't know. I can't do it on mobile. Like, hey, can you swap out the patties?
You know,
charge me for it.
I've kind of had the Burger King tattoo historically, but I want to give you guys a chance. Their motto is "Have it your way." I want you to prove it that you can outdo them.
12 beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
Article goes on to say, in order to take advantage of this meal deal, customers must show a valid federal employee ID.
What? Employee ID?
Well, military ID. So if you work for the feds, if you're military, or SNAP/EBT card at the counter or drive-through.
Why are they feeding the feds?
I don't know. I'm just reading the article, man.
Carl's Jr. lost me on that one.
Yeah. We're not a fan of that.
Not a fan of that.
No.
Or the military.
Our commitment has always been to the neighborhoods we serve. said Amir Sadiqui, owner and CEO Akash Management, as reported by Fox 11. He added, quote, "We live here. We work here. We raise our families here. When our community is under stress, we feel it too. A warm meal at a fair price can offer a moment of comfort during uncertain times, and we believe that matters," end quote.
Oh, weird statement there. If that's a fair price, right? Have you been scalping people this whole time?
Scalpers.
Overcharging?
Yeah, valid
for
question.
Your child's meal deal?
I'm sure Skeeter will weigh in on that his next call in.
Regular price $3.99, fair price $1 now all of a sudden?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
You capitalists. And then they go on, that's the end of the article, and they go on to list all the participating Carl's Jr.'s.
Okay.
And there's quite a few. So
yeah, they need one of those around here.
Yeah.
Carl's Jr. is really good at PR. It seems like they're just that's the only profit motive reason for them to do this is that they can get some good
it's
PR.
goodwill.
Yep.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about during that scalping segment was companies will charge below market value and make that up in goodwill. They don't want to charge the actual price because then it'll look like they're charging way too much. Yep. So they shift the burden onto the scalpers.
Or there's to the Costco, right? It's the lost leader.
Yeah.
And it's at the front of the store, and you got to go to the back store to get the chicken, which is whatever $4.99. That's forever.
Yeah.
And you got to walk through the whole store, and you got to buy a boatload of other stuff while you're getting your chicken and your hot dog.
Especially if you stop off at the free sample section. That was good. Throw it in the wagon.
I need that.
Love me some free samples, man.
We used to the Costco that we used to go to in Hawaii was far enough away from home that we couldn't buy ice cream from Costco.
It would melt by the time you get back.
Right. So occasionally they would have
see it in the car.
That's what we did. Right?
Nice.
We'd have the whole 18 pack of ice cream sandwiches or the bucket of cream puffs. You got an hour to finish this before we get home. Kids, help. All right, here we go. 3 apiece. Everyone's eating 3 ice cream sandwiches before we get home today.
Yeah, sounds like my kind of car ride. So the SNAP thing is not getting any better, I guess. Hot off the press just hours ago from AP, Trump administration demands states undo full SNAP payouts as states warn of catastrophic impact.
False SNAP payouts?
I guess so.
How does that even work?
President Donald Trump's administration is demanding states undo full SNAP benefits paid out under judicial orders in recent days, now that the U.S. Supreme Court has stayed those rulings, marking the latest swing in a seesawing legal battle over the anti-hunger program used by 42 million Americans. The demand from the U.S. Department of Agriculture came as more than 24 states warned of catastrophic operational disruptions if the Trump administration does not reimburse them for those SNAP benefits they authorized before the Supreme Court's stay.
They're just running on credit?
Yeah, I guess they just paid it out expecting the money to come in. And
so okay.
Or just money that doesn't exist.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you have a credit card, I have a credit card.
Yeah.
Right? I don't need the money until the end of the month. Mm-hmm. Right? So, you give people their SNAP benefits on credit and then hope something comes through. Mm-hmm. Or if it's a state issue.
Well, no, there was a ruling. It was, so nonprofits and Democratic attorneys general sued to force the Trump administration to maintain the program in November despite the ongoing government shutdown.
Right.
They won favorable rulings last week, leading to the swift release of benefits to millions in several states. The Trump administration indicated to states that it would facilitate the full payments in accordance with the rulings, while it also was appealing them. On Friday night, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson temporarily paused rulings, ordering the full SNAP disbursement while an appeals court considers the administration's request to halt the payments. That led the Department of Agriculture on Saturday to write state SNAP directors to warn them it now considers full payments under the prior orders unauthorized.
Okay. I guess the point that I was driving at was if the states are complaining, are they compelled to use the federal SNAP program? Can they not set up their own emergency SNAP program and use state funds to help these community members?
That I don't know.
If not, why not?
I thought Virginia was doing just that.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, maybe I read that wrong.
And
previously, but-
California's a wealthy state, right? They're generally a net payer into the federal government, right?
Yeah.
So they
and is certainly not scared of living outside their means. So.
Well, and they have like a wealthy tax base to dip into, right?
Yeah.
That's part of why some of those programs work there that won't work anywhere else. But why not set up their own food stamp program and dip into California's discretionary fund rather than trying to compel the federal government to do it if they care so much, like maybe in Virginia?
Well, I mean, just my opinion, I think, like your example there, that particular state, they're just going to leverage this because of their view of the current administration. So,
okay.
Just my view on that, I don't think they're going to work with the administration. I think they're going to do everything to work against the administration.
Sure, but
I mean, even if it makes no sense to do so.
Gavin Newsom is a presidential contender, or at least
he thinks he is. Yeah,
he thinks he is.
Yeah,
and he's always tweeting against Trump, right, and trolling against Trump.
Yeah.
So if he wanted to like show his mettle in this arena, right, he could compel his subordinates or whatever to start a program.
He ain't going to do that.
Why not? Like, look, Trump wouldn't feed you. Here I am, Gavin Newsom feeding you.
I don't disagree with you, but
elect me as president and I'll feed the country.
That dude is not going to do it.
Okay.
I don't think he will. I mean, if he does, then kudos to him.
All I'm saying is, if he's trying to compete with Trump, it's not a bad idea to start a program, to do it locally, to tax his own base, and then to leverage that as political capital for a presidential run.
I mean, they have if not the highest, but some of the highest state taxes in the country. So why not just pile on?
Yeah, not enough people are leaving.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
just like the wealthy people still in Hollywood.
Just, tax them to prosperity.
Well, I'm not saying tax them to prosperity. I'm just saying
I'm being facetious, obviously.
Yeah. There you go, Mr. Newsom. Some political strategy for you.
We challenge you to do the right thing.
I mean, the point of the article with Carl's Jr. was that this is a local community. We're trying to keep our local families local and fed, right? I mean, if that's the case, the further you get away from the federal government for any sort of assistance program is going to be more local.
I agree with it. I think you would get more political capital.
That's what I'm saying.
By sort of taking care of the issue himself rather than to fight the battle.
Right. And then again, if it works, if it works, he could then leverage that and say, like, look what I did in California. I got my people fed when the feds wouldn't.
Yeah.
Right now, if you elect me president, I'll make sure the entire country's fed, just like I did in California.
I'll do the same thing for this entire country that I did in California. We did it successfully in 2025 when people are starving.
Right. Yeah. It's strategically brilliant.
Yeah.
Not for it, obviously.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Not advocating this. Just saying it's a proper strategy.
These strategies wouldn't work on me because I don't think anybody in America is starving.
You also don't live in California.
I don't think anybody in California is starving.
He's like, Gavin Newsom's on record as basically saying it was California's regulatory state that allowed all this prosperity in the first place.
Yeah.
He's like, without our rules, you would never have been able to be successful.
We know what's best for you, not you.
Yes.
That certainly has to be true, doesn't it? We've got a caller on the line, so we're going to go to the phone. On-screen caller, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Hi, thanks for taking my call, but I'm not on screen. I am Alu, your favorite caller.
Hi, Alu.
He just didn't look at the screening software, Alu, but thank you.
So, unfortunately, I got the real anarchists. I was hoping that I didn't get the real libertarians tonight, because last night, Chris and Riley and Penguin were talking about legislation, and even though Penguin is usually pretty anarchist, he said he's having trouble coming up with the right bills to propose in the legislature and stuff. I have an idea for a bill that everyone should support, even crazy anarchists who are totally apolitical, like, sorry, I forget the main host name right now. Stu. I know you're very apolitical, but I think even you'd support a speedy trial right to a trial. New Hampshire happens to have the worst of all 50 states' rights for a speedy trial because they have none. So a bill in the legislature for that should have broad support, but so far we've gotten no traction. So I'm curious if you guys would agree and want to tell other state reps who believe in liberty on any side of the aisle that maybe they should look into a bill.
Why doesn't New Hampshire have one?
It's a good question. I think it just never got around to it. Over the last 250 years, every state has either passed a law. 40 states have passed state laws clearly setting a speedy trial limit for misdemeanors and felonies. Other states have done by Supreme Court precedent in their state and or by court rules.
Okay, I mean the Constitution and the Bill of Rights kind of lays that out already. So do they not have it because it's already there, or
possibly they probably rely on the federal Constitution, but the federal Constitution says no specific limit to set speedy trial, which means nothing. And the federal Supreme Court has not yet placed any actual time limit. They just say, you should consider how much the person's hurt and prejudice their defense. And that's
has anybody with standing challenged this in New Hampshire and lost?
So, I mean, I'm not sure I understand the question, but the issue is that every case is individual, so it would be like an as-applied challenge.
Right, but if you get one of those challenged and you win, right? Well, then now you've got a number that you can base off of any other future challenge.
Yep, we're coming up against it. If you want to hold on the line, we can bring you back. This is Free Talk Live. Give us a call at 603-283-6160 and get your thoughts on the air.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
You can help more people hear the message of liberty by joining Free Talk Live's AMPS program on Patreon for as little as $5 a month. And you'll get access to special perks. Visit amps.freetalklive.com, amps.freetalklive.com.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Nick Harper with the Week in Review. This week, the US government set a new record, the longest ever recorded in US history. On Friday, thousands of US domestic flights were cancelled or delayed. The White House ordered a reduction of air traffic. Trump administration officials said the move was an attempt to relieve some of the pressure on air traffic controllers. FSN's Ira Spitzer sent this report from Washington.
Air travelers in the U.S. are bracing for more disruptions from the government shutdown as Trump administration officials say they're planning to cut flights by as much as 10% on domestic routes. Meanwhile, there are reports that the Republican-controlled Senate is preparing for another vote on a stopgap spending measure on Friday, although a meeting by a group of Democratic senators on Thursday didn't yield any obvious change in position. The opposition party has demanded that Republicans extend health care subsidies that are set to expire, which GOP lawmakers have so far refused to do. At 37 days, the current shutdown is already the longest in U.S. history.
This week, the US Supreme Court appeared skeptical of President Donald Trump's power to unilaterally impose tariffs during a 3-hour hearing. The hearing at the country's highest court came after the president used a law designed for national emergencies to justify his sweeping economic agenda. New York City elected a new mayor this week, 34-year-old left-leaning Democrat Zohran Mamdani. He'll be the city's first Muslim mayor and the youngest in a century. Mamdani beat the Republican candidate, Curtis Sliwa, and the former governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo.
The sun may have set over our city this evening, but as Eugene Debs once said, I can see the dawn of a better day for humanity.
The world's richest man, Elon Musk, was this week awarded a pay packet that could be worth nearly $1 trillion. Shareholders at Tesla approved the record deal for the firm's founder, but it's conditional on Elon Musk hitting ambitious targets. City AM's editor Christian May says they won't be easy to reach.
He has to take the value of Tesla from $1.5 trillion today to $8.5 trillion in value by 2035. And he must sell tens of millions of vehicles and deploy 1 million robo-taxis and all sorts of new metrics.
Former US President Dick Cheney died this week at the age of 84. He was widely seen as the architect of George W. Bush's war on terror following the 9/11 attacks in 2001. Israeli aircraft bombed several towns in southern Lebanon on Thursday as Israel threatened wider strikes unless Hezbollah is disarmed. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
Yep, we still do email. Drop your email address in the entry box at freetalklive.com and you'll be kept in the loop with Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. It's talk radio you control. You can get your thoughts and opinions on the air in this final segment of the Sunday show. The phone number here is 603-283-6160. And currently we have Alu Exelman on the line. He was talking about speedy trials in New Hampshire. I think you got me there. I would probably support a bill limiting the amount of time before they have to let you go because they didn't give you a speedy trial.
What would be a reasonable time?
5 minutes.
Okay.
for me.
Yeah, Rich, to answer your question from earlier, it's a little tough because there have been cases that New Hampshire Supreme Court has ruled in exact cases that in that one that came up to them 9 months was too long, but also in plenty of other cases, I think they've ruled 5, 10 years, and even 13 years was not too long.
So they're holding people in holding for 13 years before they're giving them a trial, or they're just.
I don't know if he was in jail or out on bail, but it was I think 13 years.
Okay.
Of prosecution before trial. So every case is individual, and it depends on whether they're in jail or not. That's a big one. Whether they're harmed, like evidence is lost over that time.
Yeah, right now, speedy is just subjective.
At what point? Go ahead.
What's the sort of, I'll say not standard, but what's the range for other states that have this?
So in my short book, Delayed and Denied, that's on Amazon, super short, but I go through all 50 states and I discuss court cases and stuff. Seemingly for misdemeanors and felonies could be a bit longer, but it's like 6 months on the lower end, 9 months, a year, some are 2 years. Some felonies are 5 years, 6 years. I think a little shorter. So it really ranges from like 6 months to a year or two for misdemeanors and felonies. And most states or half the states say if you're in jail, you've got to go to trial within like 45 days, 90 days. But if you're out of jail, it could be 180 days. Obviously, you're more prejudiced and more harmed if you're in jail. So, but yeah, I think like 6 to 9 months would be the standard for misdemeanors and felonies. The thing is, New Hampshire has a court rule for felonies saying 9 months is presumptively prejudicial if you're not going to trial yet.
So this 13-year one that you mentioned, the 13-year one that you mentioned, did that defendant not sue for a speedy trial and was like deemed to be not prejudicial at the time?
I mean, the case, not a lawsuit, but the case was up on appeal probably of his motion to dismiss due to speedy trial. So that motion to dismiss based on speedy trial violation was denied, and then he appealed to the New Hampshire Supreme Court, and they upheld the dismissal. They didn't think it was violated. Okay. I think in that case he was actually out of the country, so it's like a textbook example of why there was a speedy trial exception, like he was like hiding out in Mexico or something. Okay. And I think in that one he didn't know that he was facing charges or something like that. So that kind of makes sense.
That almost seems reasonable then, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't run away if you've committed a felony, you can't run away from it.
Yeah, but in general, like the New Hampshire Supreme Court and the federal Supreme Court and probably other states too, like they're all over the place. Depends on the exact case and the mood of the judges on the day. They can say 5 years, it's not too long. The Supreme Court has said, even after I think the Supreme Court has said in Barker v. Wingo, like the 1974 case, that's like the standard that sets out the 4-prong rule on how judges should assess whether a speedy trial has been violated. They say after 9 months or after a year, a person could be suffering so much anxiety and harm to reputation and money and, lawyer fees and everything else that there has to be a good reason for it. Otherwise, it should be dismissed.
Okay.
Unless the prosecution has a reason. So a year, the Supreme Court justices have said that after a year, it's pretty much too long, and they should start examining the other Barker factors.
But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just so all over the place. There's not a lot of standard stuff to it.
Okay. I will give you something to research because in my experience, at least in Hawaii, they trick defendants when it comes to the speedy trial. And I'll tell you how they do it, and you can see if other states are doing something similar if you want to go down this rabbit hole. So in Hawaii, you go to your arraignment, and then they have you sign a waiver waiving your right to a speedy trial. Yep. And they trick people into doing this because the public defender's office, if you can't afford your own attorney, won't be able to see you until after the speedy trial limit is exhausted. And the court also tricks you into thinking that your public defender's office, is your court constitutional court appointed attorney, which I also found out it's not necessarily. So they go like, well, you called the public defender's office and you might be able to get an appointment with them in 4 months, but you're required to be back here for trial in 2. Right? So if you want an attorney, if you don't want to go to trial on your own, right, you're going to have to waive your right to a speedy trial and go see the public defender's office first, and that's how they trick people.
No, none of that is right.
So are you saying
the federal courts, I think, would destroy them for that?
Are you
That's
saying
what they
that what you would be able to do is say, no, I'm not going to waive my right to a trial, and I want the public defender, and that would basically put them up against it, where they'd have to dismiss your charges?
I think they'd have to dismiss the charges.
You would think.
I would think.
Well, but again, the public defender is the public defender's office. It's not your court-appointed attorney.
So that's now the only case in which I can think using the public defender would be a good idea.
So I've gone to the public defender. This is my personal experience. I've gone to the public defender's office, and I asked them to defend my case a certain way, and they said, we can't do that. And I said, well, I'm your client, right? This is what we got to do. I was like, well, I'm going to lose my position in front of the judge. I'll lose credibility in front of the judge if I pursue this. So the public defender's office withdrew from the case, and the court appointed me a private attorney at the state's expense.
Way to expose exactly how it works, because that's why you don't use the public defender. They don't work for you. They work for the judge.
Right. So that, but in going through all of that, right, everybody else goes like, well, if I show up here without an attorney, like, what are they going to do? I can't defend myself. So everyone just signs the waiver. Yeah. Right. But if you show up without the attorney, they'll just continue it.
I got to double check, but I think in my research, I read that it's one of those things you cannot waive. Like you can't waive your right. So even if they get you to sign that, still you have that right. I say, but I got to double check that.
Well, double check it in Hawaii specifically then, because it's like I don't have the paperwork anymore, but they do it on a daily basis, and whether they can or cannot, once you sign the waiver, the defendant presumes that they've waived it, right, and the court will take as long as they need after that point. No, they're not. You're not smart enough to object at the time. You're not going to be smart enough to come back afterwards and say like, "Hey, I know I signed this thing, but it's not legally binding." Right?
Yeah. I would be unlikely to sign that. And if I were in jail and they hauled me into court from jail, there's no way they'd get me to sign a paper that said that. Like, no, I want a trial today.
Every poor person that walks in there that needs a public defender waives their right to a speedy trial.
Nobody needs a public defender. Don't use that guy.
Thing I saw, a few states, like 5-10 states, have another thing that's kind of the opposite. They say if you want to use your speedy trial, you have to invoke it within like a week of the charges, which realistically, few people even get arraignment and they don't have a lawyer, so they don't even know what that is. They don't even know they can invoke a speedy trial. Otherwise, it's deemed to have been waived. But again, the courts might have weighed in on that, saying you can't waive it, but I think those rules still stand in some states. Like, you have to invoke it right away. Some states have similar requirements for an alibi. If you want to use an alibi defense, you have to make a motion that you're going to be using an alibi defense at trial within like a week of the charges. Otherwise, you're dead. And you can't use it. So I mean, some crazy stuff that's definitely unconstitutional for a lot of reasons. But yeah, very interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, but again, you would have to do the research to know, and the average defendant isn't doing that kind of research.
That's right. They make the whole system so complicated that you can't possibly navigate it on your own.
Listen, you mentioned public defenders. You shouldn't use them. In New Hampshire, public defenders are at least as good as the other private defense lawyers. So unless you're an incredible pro se litigant, then I would say public defenders are great in New Hampshire, and you essentially pay nothing at all, especially if you're not convicted.
I've had decent public defenders, and I've had garbage public defenders.
Yeah, but they're still defending their.
Yeah, in New Hampshire, I think they're relatively
They're still
good.
defending their reputation with the other lawyers and the judges and the system in general.
But if they win, I don't care. Like I'm walking out of there with a victory, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm allowed to
like
possess guns today because the public defender successfully defended me against felony possession of a deadly weapon.
Hey, you don't think you could have done it yourself?
I probably could have, but like, why risk it, man?
I don't know. To me, it seems more risky to use the guy.
Unless you get the lucky
unless you
one.
know how to boss him around, like apparently Richie does.
I mean, I got her, like, the defense that she presented was kind of like my train of thought going into it. So I was like, oh, fantastic. She knows what she's doing. I'll just let her take the lead.
Had she gone some other direction, would you have been
Probably.
like, hey, let's not use that?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, cool. So, all right, I'll amend that then. Don't use the public defender unless you're willing to make sure they're doing exactly what you want them to do.
Yeah, and if they don't want to, they will recuse themselves, right? And then they'll give you a real guy.
Yeah.
So.
Well, even the real guy can do you dirty if you're not careful.
I think that's a complicated catch-22 because lawyers are humans, but they are supposed to, in general, listen to you because you are the boss and they work for you. Even a public defender, they are supposed to do essentially anything you want, even if they don't think the motion is going to work or they disagree with it ideologically and strategically.
Yep.
Pretty much 100%, unless you tell them to like stand up and punch the judge. They're supposed to listen to you pretty much 100%.
Yeah, they'll caveat and they'll say, I'll do this, but it's
not going to work.
Highly likely, or it won't work, or this is not going to work. But if you really want me to do it, I'll do it.
Nope.
Yeah.
In my case, they withdrew from the case, and I got a real attorney.
Yeah.
And the real attorney, we won the case on a technicality.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe it can work out sometimes. I think the main thing though is you gotta.
I'm at least 50-50 with the state of Hawaii in court. I've won a lot more
have
than the
some
average person should
direction in the way it goes yourself. Otherwise, you're at their mercy.
Yeah, you got to advocate for yourself. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's probably the most important thing, right? Even if you don't know the law or the technicalities, right? Like, tell them what you want, let them figure it out.
So, is there anybody pushing for a bill in New Hampshire to limit speedy trial times?
Nope. I believe Bing and Hines proposed the bill a few years ago, and it was killed by voice vote very quickly. So, seemingly nobody supports it, which is pretty crazy. But we should pressure the libertarians who claim, if they claim to support due process or liberty or anything, especially libertarians, they should support this bill. Otherwise, if they say they won't propose it or support it, we can, put their names out there and hold them accountable a little bit.
Let's propose a bill to eliminate the state court system entirely and work on a full array of private arbitrators.
Yeah, I like that.
There's your libertarian position.
Yeah. And even that's not a perfect solution, but it is a bigger step in the right direction, I think.
It's at least a voluntary solution to begin with.
Even limits on time limits for speedy trials, that would be a step in the right direction, I think.
A step in the right direction in an already corrupted political system, right, or judicial system. Right? It's like, if we're going to play in this pool, right, let's try to avoid as much pee as we can, but you're still going to have pee in the pool.
We're in the 18th level of hell, and we're working to get to the 17th level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, like, let's just get out of hell, right? The exit's over there.
Or just have a pool with no pee.
You just need vigilance to get there.
Yeah.
Eternal vigilance to get there.
Hey, these sound like good ideas. Somebody might call you an extremist for that, though.
Wouldn't be the first time.
All right, you got
And anyone who disagrees, we could cane them.
Caning is back.
24 lashings.
24 lashes.
Do you got anything else, Olu?
Yep. No, thanks a lot, guys.
All right, thanks for the call.
Any judge who doesn't respect the limit of speedy trials gets lashed in the public square.
Ooh, judge lashing.
Along with the online scammers.
Yes. And his bailiffs, too. Screw those guys.
I think if caning were to come to the United States, judges would immediately grant themselves immunity.
Be wrapped in a flag and carrying a cross. We're only going to cane the illegals. Only the criminal illegals.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone brown, you're automatically illegal.
Anybody in a boat in the Caribbean?
We just blow you up. You don't even need to get here to get caned. Just gonna murder you.
Saves us a lot of money.
Canes right on you.
Too much fentanyl floating around Cuba.
Yeah. Hey, who thinks fentanyl's coming in from Venezuela? Anyways, is it?
I don't know.
It's not, is it?
I don't know.
I don't think it is.
Who cares?
Yeah.
I'm not doing it, right? I don't have a fentanyl problem.
Well, the only reason I care is that it looks like the United States might invade Venezuela.
Yeah.
On the premise.
On the pretense.
Yeah, on the pretense that it's about drugs. When
It's about the
has
oil.
Nothing to do with that at all.
It's about Venezuelan natural resources, of which they have an abundance of and have mismanaged to the point where, like, Trump's literally thinking about invading them for it.
That's right.
Empire building. At least that's a real empire build, right? Like, if you're going to conquer some country, don't just blow it to glass. Like, get the resources. That'll
That's
benefit
right.
your own country.
Yeah, people were shocked when he was like, I think this was during Trump version 1 in Syria. He's like, oh yeah, we got the oil. And everyone's like, what? You're not supposed to say that part.
You're not
out
supposed
loud.
to, said the quiet part out loud.
I was kind of happy with it though, because I mean, yeah, just say it. That's what you're there for. Just say it.
Yeah. We're taking it from them to benefit the people here. Right? Like, if you were really a king or monarch, that's kind of the whole point of expanding the empire, right? It's to get the resources, not to just blow up people and burn them down to ground to glass.
That's right. And since America has never had a time of not empire building, might as well go for it, I guess.
He invades Afghanistan, so we got the rugs.
No, that's the heroin thing.
Oh, okay.
That's
Turkey.
Where do they-
You got to go to
Turkish?
They got Turkey. Yeah, the Turkish rugs.
Okay. I think I've got my
I went there last year. They had beautiful,
Iran
beautiful
is technically
rugs.
Persia, right? So
Okay.
Yeah,
maybe it's
beautiful
Iran.
rugs in Turkey. That would totally be worth it, I think.
I think my bath towel's Turkish cotton, and it's wonderful. So
Yeah, I
there you
think
go.
Turkey.
And they're
has a lot
great
of good stuff.
They're great salesmen, man. You think used car salesmen put the hard sell? Those guys, those are the real pros.
The owner of my regular job is a Turkish immigrant.
Is he?
So, yeah.
They know how to sell, man.
Built the company from the ground up with him and a partner.
They sell it to you for twice what it's worth, and then
make you
then
think you're getting a deal.
You leave feeling like you ripped them off.
Yeah.
Turkish scalpers.
Pretty much.
Yep, Turkish scalpers.
My friend, come buy for me.
Maybe Skeeter could get
For
his
you today.
system off the ground in Turkey.
What's it going to take for us to come to an arrangement? I've got 50 goats out back. Is that not
That's
enough?
a pretty good accent, man. You're almost spot on there.
Have you ever been to Turkey?
No. I've only made one international trip, and it was like to Canada to go to Niagara Falls, and that's the only time I've been out of the country.
Okay.
I don't have wanderlust.
I've been over the southern border, not the northern.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been to Mexico.
Yep. It was a good time.
Never paid $2 for a chicle.
For what?
Chicle?
I don't know.
Chicle? No, the Mexican kids selling gum on the street.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. No, I didn't frequent those, but I did hit the every single fish taco stand that we passed.
Nice.
Fantastic food.
Ironically, can't get fish taco at Taco Bell.
No.
It's like the one meat they don't provide.
No, I thought they did it for a little while and then
Special occasion? Seasonal?
Yeah,
No.
yeah they do like.
Was it just beef and
limited time.
chicken?
And they got steak too.
Oh, they do have steak?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't been to one in a long time, but I remember the beef and the chicken.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know I moved here in 2018, and in summer of 2017, McDonald's did lobster rolls.
I remember that.
And they have not done lobster rolls since I've got here.
They need to bring the McRib back, man.
They do. That's seasonal. That's definitely seasonal.
Okay. All right.
I packed a bunch of those down.
All is right in the world then.
Yeah.
Does anybody know exactly how they calculate when they're going to do the McRib, or like, is it just when they've built up an excess of something, or when the market price is right on?
It's I would think it's all about data metrics. They must have studied it, tried different times of the year, market dynamics.
Yeah. I read somewhere that when the market price of pork hits a certain level, that they can buy the quantities they need to provide America with the McRib.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's when they buy the pork, and that's when they start the promotion. Okay. I don't know if that's true, but it's kind of what you said.
Yeah.
They do the market analytics.
Yeah.
Price, pork, pork on the commodities market hits a price point, and then and then the McRib comes around.
Yeah.
But yeah. I put, he ate 8 Big Macs, but I put down like 3 McRibs with the fries and the drinks. Like This is the only time I can get it.
Yeah, McRib's a terrible sandwich, but I will eat the heck out of those things too.
It's not even terrible. It's like the best thing on the McDonald's menu when it's on.
It's what I call good gross, which is like it's delicious, and I'll just keep eating them.
Yeah,
but they're so gross too.
You pay the price later,
That's okay.
But that's all right.
Price worth paying.
Yep, some things are.
This plane ride smells like barbecue.
Oh goodness.
What do you want to do, Stu?
I don't know. I didn't finish this story about Trump jerking around the SNAP benefits.
Do that then. It's not worth getting into something new.
Okay. States could face penalties for paying benefits. To the extent states sent full SNAP payments files for November 2025, this was unauthorized, Patrick Penn, Deputy Undersecretary of Agriculture, wrote to state SNAP directors. Accordingly, states must immediately undo any steps taken to issue full SNAP benefits for November 2025.
You know that food you bought with all the money we sent you in SNAP benefits? We're going to need that food back.
Yeah, we're going to need that back.
Oh, you already ate it? Oh, well. We're going to need you to work it off.
You're going to need to figure it out, man.
That states could face penalties if they did not comply. It was unclear if the directive applies to states that use their own funds to keep the program alive or to ones relying on federal money entirely. The Department of Agriculture did not immediately respond to a request for comment. In a filing in federal court on Sunday, the agency said states moved too quickly and erroneously released full SNAP benefits after last week's rulings.
Again, too quickly and erroneously. Like again, if you're a statist in this, like people are about to starve or at least lose their ability to purchase food. Like it seems like a time to move quickly. Right?
I would think so.
If you believe in the system.
If you believe in the system, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Oh no, they're good. This is again the weird thing about the bourgeoisie, proletariat, capitalist thing in general, right? Like at some point, poor people get violent and riot when they feel they aren't being heard or fed or whatever, right? So it's almost a duty of the wealthy class to keep them placated just above that riot level. And if the threat is like, well, if you're not going to feed us, right, and we're coming for you, we'll start stealing, right? Well, then just feed them a little bit, like dip into that excess wealth.
I agree
fund.
that is that's sort of the class argument, right? And it's not to help sort of encourage or promote people. And I don't even like using the word class, but it's sort of like a caste system, and it doesn't help you sort of encourage you to sort of rise up and do what you need to do in traditional capitalist society. It actually encourages continued mediocrity, I would call, or subsistence.
Yeah. Again, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
But like, if the next step is violence.
Yeah.
Right. And they're the poor people aren't hopefully if they're smart enough, they're not going to go after themselves. They're going to go after the people with the money and the food, which is why we already have things like tax the rich and eat the rich and all these things, because we're already at a level, a societal level, where it's like, well, you guys have way too much and it's time to either give or to have it taken, right? Like that's the mentality of a lot of these people.
I understand the mentality. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a family like that. I hate to say, and their first reaction is never, hey, maybe I should work harder because I have the ability and I have the education and I have really nothing holding me back. I'm not in a situation. I'm not me, but this person. I have the ability to. I just choose not to.
Yeah.
And they point the finger at whoever they consider to be the upper class or the wealthy who doesn't need it.
Yeah.
And give it to me or I'm going to take it.
Right. I mean, there's the anarchist quote. I think it's Emma Goldman. Forgive me if I get the quote wrong, but it's ask for work. They don't give you work. Ask for food.
Yep.
If they give you neither work nor food, take food.
Right.
Right. But if you can't take the food, right, like the next level of that, if you can't get work or food, get violent.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like that's part of working class revolutions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And cutting the heads off of people.
Yeah. I don't
Let
think
them
I'd go
eat
that
cake.
route. I think I would go find some wild edibles or something else. Didn't require me to attack people.
Get the munchies when you can't afford food.
Yep. This has been Free Talk Live for the night. We will be back next weekend, and you can call us then if you didn't get in tonight. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians from June 13th through the 16th for the 8th annual Fork Fest at Rochester.